Hey everybody, welcome on back. It's the Twisted History Podcast. It's myself, it's St. Anne, it's Jeff Vibbert, you know him as Vibs, and it's John Kelly. And today we're going to do the Twisted History of Japanese Traditions and Customs. And this Twisted History is sponsored by BetterHelp. Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you'd like to learn? Maybe gardening, new language, cooking, maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling. Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back-to-school era can come at any age. We've spoke a couple of times on this podcast how we've used therapy as a couple, Annie and I, and people in our family have, and 10 times out of 10, it's always been beneficial for us. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists anytime for absolutely no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/twisted today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/twisted. I know therapy seems like something extremely important and maybe a huge mountain for you to climb, but it's not. And BetterHelp makes it extremely easy. So I know you're just kind of listening to a history podcast, but if you want to get some stuff off your chest, I think this is a viable option. So go to betterhelp.com/twisted and get a little money off. Get 10% off first month. Why the hell not?
What's
right?
sexy? Knowledge, growing.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence.
When I was growing up, there was like one or two kids who saw a therapist and we thought they were either, I don't know. There was a stigma.
There definitely was a stigma.
Now it's like everybody, like even kids my kids' age all have like different therapists and stuff like that. So
I don't think there's anything sexier than a good relationship.
Yeah.
I think getting in touch with your feelings and working on it as a couple or as an individual on yourself, I think it's helpful.
I would love if our kids told us everything, and they do tell us most things. We're very lucky in that respect, but not everyone can just open up to people that they know. So sometimes I think I just think that it's a viable option,
And you can't be 50% of something if you're not 100% yourself, right?
What?
Like, you know what I mean?
Put that on a tattoo.
Shit.
Yeah. Note that should be on one of those wooden signs that hang over somebody's kitchen.
Yeah, get away, get the gather down.
Live, laugh, and love.
Get the blessed down.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so this is Twisted History Japan. Here's a follow-up. We did Twisted History in New Jersey last time, and Jared Wilson came in and said, great episode. The talk about regional dialects cracked me up as someone born on the West Coast from a Midwest mom who grew up on the East Coast. The biggest memory I have from we moved from Washington State to Virginia was ordering orange pop and no one knowing that it was actually orange soda, like either Fanta, Sunkist, or Crush.
Don't you want to?
I love the fact that we threw that in last time.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, like, remember, John had done the production of it. He wasn't here for it. I thought the way that these two guys had different answers for everything kind of made sense. Like, you're like, I'm a pecan, I'm a pecan, I'm a pecan. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was very Southern on all of them. I was very surprised.
Yeah, you're like a Southern belle.
Yeah,
right?
you were where you should have been.
Yeah,
like, you were Midwest.
Midwest
you know what I mean?
trash, baby.
Yeah. And he spent 1 year in Atlanta, and all of a sudden she's like, my stars and garters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it came up in another thing because I'm doing this stuff on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and he pops it onto Facebook too for me, which is good. But I'm doing those food review things, which, by the way, are doing pretty well.
They're great. They do very well.
And
I love them.
what do you think about social media, since every one of us is on all those platforms? If you had to rank social media comment sections for which one is the dumbest, where do you get your dumbest comments? Just people who are just ignorant or don't have a big grasp of the language sometimes too. Like, you feel like you're really dealing with people.
I don't have that, but the
Twitter.
dumbest comments I feel like are on Instagram.
I feel like okay.
I feel like
Twitter,
Instagram
and I think it's fucking TikTok.
Oh, TikTok is has taken the cake kind of because it's
just random. And Twitter, I think, is the meanest.
Yeah,
I think Twitter is more like
the meanest. I thought you asked dumbest. You did ask dumbest.
Yeah.
I think Instagram is that they say the dumbest things.
Really?
Like, almost like I gotcha, and it's like, yeah, not really.
Yeah.
And Twitter, I find people will say the meanest, and then when you go back at them, like in a nice way, because I really don't get into wars with people. I try not to, because I kind of, I think people are frustrated more than anything when they comment.
Yeah.
So I think Twitter's the meanest.
I try to do like that PFT trick where, like he used to, when he was blogging a lot, he used to purposefully misspell things.
Yes.
And people who are new to his content would comment, it's there versus there. And he didn't give a shit. Like, it was almost
Well,
like
it's
a
for
talking
clicks.
point.
It's all for clicks.
So I always throw something a little bit in. When I did L&B Pizzeria in my old neighborhood, I said it was a red pie. I know that only people in my family call it a red pie. It's
Right.
the Sicilian with the sauce on the top. But I call, oh my God, you're not from Brooklyn if you call it a red. What the fuck's a red pie? They're just very, very. And
But
I
if
said,
you order
no.
a red pie from L&B's, they know what you want.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody had hit
That's
me
funny.
on. I did a sandwich. DCO and Sons, and it was this chicken parm. It was obscene. This thing. I ate it with a white shirt. Everyone's like, "Whoa!" And some guy had commented when I said that I had a chicken parm hero. He's like, "Hero is a Philly thing. Subs are New York."
Subs are not New York. We say heroes.
Yeah. Hero's a New York thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hoagie is Philly.
That's I agree.
Hoagie.
I would think
hoagies
that's
in Philly.
Yeah, hoagies. Yeah.
Yeah, hoagies. Sometimes I hear hero, but
Yeah, if it gets up here.
it's a definitive
'Cause,
New York thing.
If you said, like, nobody says this anymore, but if you said torpedo, isn't that like Staten Island originally?
Oh yeah, something like
I don't
that.
know. I've
Like
never
a,
heard
like
that
a
one
torpedo
either.
sandwich.
I mean, hoagie
I
I've
thought
heard,
it was
but
like
it's always-
Well, they made it because of a submarine sandwich. Then they
Yeah.
have the torpedo, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
no,
I
it's
thought it
all-
was like a Coney Island thing at one point.
Might have been, yeah. But like wedges, nobody hears
Wedge
a
is a
wedges.
salad.
No, wedges are
Yeah.
sandwiches.
I would think it's a salad, like a big. What,
Yeah,
a
some
club?
people call them a wedge.
like a triangle when they cut
and then
the
obviously-
clubs into quarter, like
I
triangles.
don't even know. Like, I think I can't remember where a wedge is from, but it's just like a common name for a sandwich. I'm going to grab a wedge.
Bacon bits, blue cheese, great texture.
Those aren't
I'm
they
still
the
on the same
best?
salad.
Yeah. No, a wedge
They're the
salad is
best.
elite. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's iceberg, which has absolutely no
Oh,
nutritional
yeah,
value at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so
But anyway,
good.
so people had sent in a bunch of stuff like that, and that TikTok person, for some reason, I don't usually lose my shit, but I almost lost my shit on him. So that was from Jared Wilson. Here's one from Frank.
Wait, Facebook is by far the nicest.
Oh yeah,
They're
because
such
they're
nice people. Like,
It's
they're
truly
like,
like
"Ooh, how
the
do you-"
friend thing.
Yeah.
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 I was gonna say it's like 60-year-old people that are just like, yeah, they're retired boomers that are just like,
Yeah,
I'm
they-
gonna get on
they
Facebook
genuinely
and
care.
Yeah.
Admit it,
yeah.
yeah.
I would never eat that because I'm allergic. But wow, that looks delicious. Good for you.
You don't think it hurts my feeling when you say 60-year-old and I'm going to be 53 this
I-
year?
I've-
You don't
with-
think it hits me a little bit?
My dad's like 72, and I've had to change the goalposts
go
on
up,
calling
yeah.
old people old.
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh shit.
Like my mother-in-law is in an over 55 home.
Yeah.
I'm 2 years away from
Oh,
being
no.
eligible
Yeah.
to live in the place next door to her.
We get a tax break.
Oh, that'd
As
be
a
fucking
you.
awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
This is from Frank. Large, another banger of an episode with the twisted history of New Jersey. Thank you. Should be Large, Vibs, Annie, and John, but still. I'm from Tom's River and wanted to give you a couple more facts. Tom's River is named after a guy named Tom who allegedly killed his wife and threw her in the river.
That
Ooh,
And
we're
he
gonna
says
have to take something
afterwards,
from there.
he says, I've never fact checked it and I refuse to because I like the story. I respect
I
that.
agree. I like
And
that.
then, two, there was a battle of Tom's River at the end of the Revolutionary War that the Patriots lost, and their leader, Joshua Huddy, was hanged. But more importantly, the town built a memorial park to Joshua Huddy with a beautiful gazebo, and that's the first place I ever got sloppy top. Shout out Rachel.
Yeah, I
Tell 'em.
love that.
Tell 'em.
That is so Jersey of Rachel. I love
Yeah.
that.
So
But what was on the radio?
I don't
You know
know.
that something was blasting in the
Yeah.
Trans Am like 7 feet away.
classic Jersey broad, big
Yeah,
sloppy
Rachel.
tits. Rachel blew Frank in the
I love
gazebo in Tom's River that's dedicated to a Revolutionary
That
War
is
hero.
Jersey.
That's a perfect DM.
A
from
sucking
me.
like that, Frank, you romantic dog. You.
Yeah, I actually started looking up what the Tom in Tom's River is, and it says it's either English Captain William Tom, who was a farmer, or it was English Captain William Tom, or a ferryman named Thomas Luker, who used to like ferry people across Goose Creek, which is now Tom's River. But I didn't go any further to see.
We got to
whether
go
or
to
not-
Tom's River High School and find the custodian and ask him.
I didn't go any further to find out whether or not either English Captain William Tom or ferryman Thomas Luker. I didn't check whether or not either of those gentlemen, or maybe both, had killed their wives, because to this guy's point, I don't have to know. Like, we try and not spread lies here, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now, I don't give a fuck if that's a lie. I'll go with that till the day that I die. You know, I have to fact check some shit,
Sometimes
unfortunately.
local legend is
Yeah.
better.
Who gives a fuck
I
at the end
ferried
of the day?
I ferried a
like
couple
that
girls
Frank
across
got blown by
Peace
Rachel
River.
at a gazebo
Yeah.
in a town named after a guy who fucking killed his wife.
Is that the river you found someone dead in?
Oh wait,
Oh no.
I didn't get that. I overspoke.
Oh, I just said I ferried a couple girls across Goose River. That's no lie.
When you were jogging and there was someone dead in the river?
No, that was in the middle of Indianapolis, in like the most busy street
oh.
we have, Meridian. The dude jumped off a parking garage. Well, shot himself and fell off the parking garage.
Really?
After shooting at like his ex-wife's
Where
lover.
did we talk about that in the history of suicide?
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Or
yeah,
Indiana.
depression.
Did we do
Maybe
Indiana?
it was Indiana.
Maybe.
Probably Indiana.
Yeah. It was on my birthday. I saw a dead body on my birthday.
I
It's cool.
can't believe your birthday was 2 weeks ago and you didn't tell us.
I just saw a comedian do a bit where it's like, there's no way you can bring up your birthday without sounding like a 5-year-old.
Yep.
Like, you walk in, like, it's my birthday today.
So sound like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Who gives
well,
a shit?
I'm
With
a
us, you
grown
can be
man.
fine with it.
I'm a
Yeah.
grown man.
Yeah.
I can't. No.
Oh, I get like hurt like a 5-year-old if I
Oh.
don't know.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I apologize. I
I'd
should've
like
said
to know
something.
that. Well, it's on my
I
calendar
sat through a
now.
whole episode without saying a thing.
Your birthday's coming up,
I can't remember birthdays.
right? You're
Ah.
you're in October, aren't you?
I'm just bad. No, I just don't care to anymore. I have nieces and nephews, and then
Yeah.
it's just once you get more than one, you're like, I gotta.
Aren't
remember
you
all
October?
these birthdays. Yeah.
You're October what?
4.
4th.
Yeah.
Okay. John Mayer's October 16th, so let's all mark that down.
Where?
What?
Where?
No, his birthday.
His birthday's
birthday.
October
Oh, I thought you
16th.
meant like
Everywhere,
concert-
John.
no.
Go on
You have a
October
great
16th.
birthday, 10-4.
Everywhere.
Oh, that is sad.
John's
That's
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all let's
John
act
Mayer.
like you care more about
If
John's
you
birthday.
remember, make sure
John
you
Mayer.
John Mayer.
DM John Kelly on October 4th. 10-4, big
Oh,
buddy.
please don't.
10-4, good buddy. Last letter is from a guy named John Scheimer, and it's a quick one. Tell Vibs that Dayton, Ohio has Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Oh no.
For some reason, I brought up Wright-Patterson Air Force Base last week. I don't know why. And you were like, oh, that's in Indiana. So
What am I thinking
this
of?
guy right away said it's actually in Dayton, Ohio.
Shit.
So he said, tell Vibs. I think he offered to fight you, too, because it's stolen valor in an
You-
indirect way.
Well, you guys have like 3 NFL teams. Give us something. Give us an Air
Something.
Force base. What was I mixing that up with?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Yeah, what? So,
Grissom Air Force Base
Grissom
in
Air
Indiana.
Force
I
Base.
apologize. A great subway next to that.
yeah. So Wright-Patterson is in Dayton, Ohio. And then what's in Indiana? Grissom, you said?
Grissom.
Grissom.
Air Force Base, just outside of like Kokomo.
I'll take him down for you. I'll fight him.
Thank you.
know-
You don't
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't.
fight
I
him. I'm
can't.
coming for you.
You know what they announced a couple of weeks ago is there's a track in Bristol, Tennessee. It's famous, right? Like they do the Bristol Night Race, which actually is this weekend. Saturday night, NASCAR Cup Series is having a playoff race in Bristol, Tennessee at night. Shorter track. I've been to Bristol. It's very, very historical and very cool. Next year in
NASCAR's so great.
2025, Bristol Motor Speedway is going to host the Atlanta Braves versus the Cincinnati Reds. Like they're going to put a diamond in the middle of the racetrack
When
in
is
the
this?
infield.
Tonight? Like
No, August of 2025.
Oh, sorry.
And so Bristol is hosting their race this Saturday. Next year, they're going to host a Major League Baseball game. They've had various football games there, including some college football games, like some big ones.
Yeah.
But I heard this stat. When Bristol does this next year, it'll be the first time in the history of the United States that a Major League Baseball game has been played in the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
Like, and it makes sense, but don't you think, like, somewhere along the line, I don't know. But anyway, so congratulations to Bristol.
I think they're talking about expanding the MLB, and
Yeah.
they want to put a team in Nashville. So I bet this is like a test to see who shows
up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be really fucking cool to go to Bristol
For sure.
and watch a baseball game.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the stadium online. It looks amazing.
Yeah, Chase Elliott is a huge Braves fan, so he was kind of at the forefront of all the announcements and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about it and about going.
Yeah.
We'll go. And then
Sounds good to
I
me. I'm
was
in.
with Canelo last weekend. That's a flex. And I said,
Gingers love you.
I invited him to the NASCAR race in Mexico City next year. In June of next year, NASCAR is running a points race, one that counts in Mexico City. And so I said, Canelo, if you'd like to be Grand Marshal, I can make that happen. If not, you could certainly just be my guest. I know everybody. You
Does
know?
this is
He accepted.
a left turn?
I
No pun
love left
intended.
turns.
But does the air, like the altitude, make a difference in Mexico City? Because it's so high up there. Does that matter with cars?
I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know about, like, because, I mean, aero is such a huge part of, car racing, right? Getting out in clean
I wish
air.
there was
and-
somebody you could ask on
I wonder
text
if-
right now that you would answer you. Oh, get Briscoe on the line.
Yeah, or
Chase
get Larry
Briscoe, he'll let you know.
McReynolds. You see large.
I'll give you a McNugget.
Yeah. You see large, roll tide. And
love him.
he's Larry Reynolds is the fucking man. So anyway, so he accepted. So I'm going to try and get to that too. You will not go to that with me. You don't want to go to Mexico, I don't think.
You could do some. You got to try this in Mexico City. They have some,
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to ask that question.
Yeah, please. I'm curious.
It's good.
I want to know.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I'll ask somebody. Yeah, I can't get him on the air now, online now.
Oh, I might just text him and ask.
Yeah.
Have a answer by the end of the show.
But this podcast, I'm sorry to have such a long lead up to it. Actually, I'm not sorry. This podcast is all about Japan. But first, let's talk about Paint Your Life. It's one of our favorites, right? It's wild how it's become like our cult favorite thing. But Paint Your Life does a very, very good job.
They do, and it's coming
ideas.
up on the holidays. So I think
Yeah.
you can get a jump early because I know a lot of Christmas card clubs start now.
I don't know
1st.
how many you can give to your parents.
No,
Like,
but
you know what I
they-
mean?
you
Like I
know.
could conceptually make a different painting of my kids or me and the wife, sir, and give it to my parents every year. I don't just they can't all of a sudden become a fucking museum.
Right.
But get a good one and send it to your folks.
Well, it
Yeah.
doesn't
Once
have
you
to
have a
be
wall,
huge.
it's like,
Yeah.
But that's what's good about them. They do different sizes, so and
Yeah.
it doesn't break the bank.
Yeah.
I think it's a great gift for somebody.
I like it. I mean, the one that we have up in Arturo's, which I believe they might have taken down, but that one was classic.
Well, they're waiting for the new one.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
the next edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one for my mom. Me and my nieces trick or treating. Cried, loved
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
This is a good one
Oh,
too.
it's a good one. Yeah.
So what the
yeah.
hell are we talking about? Paint Your Life. If you're looking for a deeply meaningful gift for the holidays with Paint Your Life, you can give your loved one a unique hand-painted portrait of themselves or a place or a person that they love. It's not AI and it's not a print. It's a real painting by a real artist. That's important because the AI ones just look like they're generating computer-generated cartoon.
Yep.
So it's got imperfections to it, and we'll talk about that in a sec. No gift could touch the heart as much as this. And now it's at a special early bird price. So Paint Your Life transforms your photos into one-of-a-kind, beautiful hand-painted portrait by professional artists. You get a professional hand-painted portrait created from any photo for a deeply meaningful holiday gift. You can even upload multiple photos, combine them, or create anything you imagine. Ask your artist to add embellishments, change a wardrobe, put yourself in a location you always wanted to go, add a lost loved one to a special occasion for a portrait you always dreamed of. I don't know about that one.
Oh, they do it for weddings when
that'd
like
be kinda
grandma
cool.
can't make it. It doesn't make it to the wedding.
I'm not judging.
I think it's so sweet.
Maybe put hair on yourself. Ooh. Maybe put in this way. So there's lots of options.
do that.
Customize your experience with a payment plan that
We could
works
all
for
get
you.
different hair.
Upgrade your portrait with a custom frame. So you can get started with your holiday shopping early this season and give the most meaningful gift you've ever given from paintyourlife.com. And there's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money's refunded, guaranteed. Order now to get Paint Your Life's early bird holiday offer, 20% off your painting. That's good. That's right. For a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping. To get this special
That's good.
offer, you got to pay attention here. Text the word TWISTED to 87204. That's TWISTED, texted to 87204. Text TWISTED to 87204. Paint Your Life. Celebrate the moments that matter most. Message and data rates may apply. See term for details.
I think just putting this out there,
Go ahead, put it out there.
people love to get pictures of their pets after they die. What if you did it before they died and gave it to someone
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
like just a smaller one, like an 8x10 or
people love. Yeah. and
They
even if
love
the
their
if you
pets.
put people's pets on anything, they
Anything,
they love it.
right?
Yeah.
pets is a good one.
I shouldn't, just the way that the copy had read, it would be sort of like myself, you, Vibs, and then another chair, and my grandmother, who's been dead for 30 years, is sitting there. You know what I mean? Like, that would
I
be a little
love
bit
that.
strange.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be weird, but I would still love it because I like the weird.
Yeah, I hear.
But that's what you can do. That's what you cater to your needs.
No, I've used them a bunch of times. I think it's wonderful.
If you're like, hey, like I want a picture of me and my nieces, make it cute, but I want all of our hands replaced with blades. They'll be like, all right, cool, I'll do that.
cool.
Like,
Now
yeah,
you're talking
That's
my
cool.
language.
yeah.
I can see what I look like with tattoos.
That's what I was thinking because I have one near the near my desk with Coleman in it, and I was like, what could I put over Coleman?
A blade.
just to update it. Just to update
Just-
it.
We'll put Dave there. We'll add Dave
would be
to
good.
it.
But I was thinking Andrew Manley, big
Andrew?
Manley.
fan.
Yeah,
maybe
Chico
his
Tecnico.
wife.
Yes.
A big fan of the
Oh
band.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Christine. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We could auction it off to a new fan every week.
We'll give him it as an anniversary gift.
That would give them a lot of work. That painter would be busy.
You know who we should put in then we should put in that guy who got blown in Tom's River.
Frank.
Yeah.
Is it
he
Right?
could- yeah.
We
Or
put,
Jim. No,
Hell
wait,
we'll
who
put like
got-
a
who was it?
gazebo in the background. We will not show Rachel's face.
Frank. Shout out
because she'll
Frank.
be buried in his lap.
Frank
Yeah,
and
right?
Rachel.
But there's
I'm all for
John Bon
it.
Jovi has to write a song about Frank and Rachel.
JBJ?
John Bon Jovi saved a guy's life.
He did. Isn't he got so Jersey?
By the way, before I forget,
I love that.
I had a bone-in veal parmesan last night that I
You
cannot,
just like saying that.
cannot stop thinking
Where'd you
about.
have it?
Saloon in Philadelphia, this old Italian place.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
We haven't
Pound
been
it
out
out?
to dinner in a long time.
What do you mean, the veal?
yeah,
of
thin,
course.
right?
Oh, yeah.
That's so it reminds me of Echo, which shut down, and they left the rib on it. And man, it was like at the end picking up that rib, and you still have a little bit of the breaded, like and you eat it. Me and Eddie went to Echo. I would go to Echo for years with Leo Carlino. Used to, and me and Patty Devitt and Enzo and all these guys, and we used to order up these Britannia Amarones like they were fucking water. And I took Eddie. And Eddie, this heavy-set Italian guy who works in our Chicago office, I'm going to do his accent in a second.
yeah.
He never had a veal parm. Never had a veal parm in his life. So I took Eddie. Eddie and I went down to.
How do you never have a? Well, I guess I don't eat veal, but I've had one.
Yeah, we went to like a bocce court
funny.
somewhere above Fide, and we cracked open a bottle of wine. John, you filmed it with us, right? And then afterwards, we went over to Echo, and I was like, Eddie, I'm going to give you the best veal parm in New York. Oh, get out of here! I never had a veal parm. That sounds, I've always wanted to have one. That sounds delicious. I went in there, and he absolutely loved it. And then we were both gutted when we found out that the place didn't make it through the pandemic.
You should have gotten the picture
Yeah.
of Lauren
Yeah.
Bacall from downstairs. Is it
Yeah.
Lauren Bacall?
So I did the meats draft with Eddie, and we were talking about it. Remember that veal parm we had large? And I'm like, I remember. You know what I mean? I love that guy. All right, so this is going to be about Japanese. Remember when I was jumping up and down how there are certain names that everyone should know, but they simply don't. Like I know every name of the Kardashian family, but very few people know about Fritz Haber, and he's the guy who had created the means for us to all basically survive. Like there's all these important historical figures nobody knows about, and I make the point: what do you have to do for someone to remember your name? And I thought a perfect example was Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the only person to officially been recognized by the government of Japan as surviving both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs during World War II. He not only survived those, he lived to 93. I'm going to go back and forth between Hiroshima and Hiroshima because I don't know which one. So I'll just play the odds.
They get it.
So a bunch of people had sent this to me, and I appreciate it. It looks like it's going to happen. It looks like people are going to finally know this guy's name and hopefully remember it, because one guy in particular, JW, sent me it first. James Cameron bought the rights to The Last Train from Hiroshima. It will be James Cameron's first non-Avatar movie since 1997's Titanic. Is that true?
Really?
James Cameron hasn't...
Dude, all he's been working on is the second one for like
took-
10 years.
Yeah, it
And
took
the
forever.
third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So for
I was never
27
an
years,
Avatar
James
person.
Cameron
No,
has made
You?
2 movies?
Yeah.
What a
2 movies
loser.
in 27
Yeah.
years?
He's like, the Star Wars guy did the same thing. He didn't make
Lucas.
anything. Yeah. He
Yeah.
made like 0 films after Star Wars.
Right.
Well, I get
Mostly.
that. Yeah.
I
Was
mean,
the
I know
first
those
one
2
Lightning in a Bottle,
films
or does
are
everybody love 'em?
Avatar.
I think because he was like building stuff. He's always like building something.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. He's like sciencing. He's over sciencing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he lost like confidence. Like the studio was like, we wanted this 6 years ago.
Did you care about Avatar? Did you like it? As
I
a
liked
guy
the first one. It was cool because it was cool. I
It
liked
was
the second one.
the
Yeah.
visuals were like groundbreaking, but
Yeah.
the story was kind of lame, and it was like, and then
Yeah.
the second one,
Yes.
27 years, and I mean after Titanic. But so my point is, if everyone still remembers
Can I-
at least Jack and Rose, then everyone's going to remember Tsutomu Yamaguchi.
Can I
Go
throw
ahead.
this fun fact out there, though?
Please.
James Cameron, 2009, Avatar came out, nominated for Best Picture, lost to his ex-wife,
Right,
who
for
won
Right,
Hurt
Hurt
Locker,
Locker.
which is just a
Right.
great... So his movie that he took 20 years on
Yeah.
to make, he just lost to his ex-wife. What's your name? What's your name?
Well, Catherine Bigelow?
Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow.
Bigelow.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did the piano.
You acted like you didn't know that.
No, I couldn't get the last one.
You were like,
Catherine
Bigelow?
What else did she do?
The piano, I believe.
With
She did
Harvey
the piano?
Keitel?
Yes.
Full frontal?
She did.
A great...
Remember that?
She did Zero Block 30.
Did she?
Or
Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30.
Right, the
She was a
piano
producer on Zero Block 30, too, actually.
wasn't the piano Polanski?
No.
No.
It was a woman. And it was the girl from X-Men, Rogue.
Oh yeah.
What's her name?
Was Harvey Keitel on the piano?
That's what I just said. He was full frontal.
Full Frontal
Oh,
movie.
you saw some dong in that movie for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And that kept your interest. Because the
I
piano
remembered.
definitely did.
Yeah, the pianist.
Because you saw Harvey
pianist.
Keitel on
Oh,
the
the
street,
pianist,
you're like,
yeah.
"What's up, Harvey? Full Frontal." You said it to him.
I met Harvey Keitel and Robert De Niro when I worked for a law firm in the summers while I was in college. I had to deliver, it was a real estate law firm, Bleakley, Platt, Remsen, and Curran. And they were down on like Whitehall Street or something. And we had to deliver, I did everything. It was like, so I had to deliver some documents to somebody. They never told me who. And I went to Tribeca to a thing. It was Robert De Niro. And it was Robert De Niro hanging out in this like very Robert De Niro-y room, like big books stacked up and like floor to ceiling, old school windows and like big velvet curtains that are barely showing through lights in a smoky room. And it was Robert De Niro and Harvey Keitel. It's pretty cool. It's like, hey guys. And they were like, do you want any water? Like that's you know.
Some water?
I didn't, it was before selfies and shit, so I didn't ask for anything. But anyway, so I'm fascinated with Japanese. And everyone knows that, right? It's my number one callback on this podcast outside of Nazis. I think I mentioned the Japanese almost as much as I mentioned Nazis because I'm fascinated with it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting culture because it's very old. It goes back far, but they're also very modern.
Yeah,
Very
they
modern side.
Japanese toilet ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
very loyal to their
Love
traditions,
Japanese
which I
toilet ghosts.
love.
Yeah.
I love Japanese toilet ghosts. All right, so we've done a lot of episodes of this podcast.
Our first one.
And I've mentioned Japanese on the first one. We've mentioned Japanese. I apologize. On the first one, Twisted History of Kamikazes. We mentioned them in freak shows with Chang and Eng, who I
Yes.
don't think were Japanese at the end of the day. We mentioned it on the Butterfly Effect one. We mentioned it on Phobias, Gymnastics, Execution, Survivors, Tattoos, Weapons, Twins, Genghis Khan, Olympics, Fast Food, Gangs, Holidays, Genocide, Rats, The Cobra Effect, Hoaxes, Curses, Generals, Taiwan, Corruption, Revenge, and Cowards. I've talked about Japanese. I've touched upon them in all of them. Yeah, yeah. Among others. I've talked about Unit 731 in 4 different episodes. Those heartless bastards. And obviously it's a country with a long storied history, as Vibbs is saying. So there's a shitload to talk about. And I'm going to start off with like some light stuff. Honestly, I'm not doing that to be weird and then all of a sudden start talking about rape. We'll start with some light stuff. But before I do, anybody watch Shogun?
Watch the first episode.
I watched 2 episodes. I thought it was too slow. And now I want to go back because it's on everyone's top 5 list.
So they won all the awards. Was it Grammy Awards? They won all those.
Emmys.
And then Emmys. Sorry, but yeah, everyone says it's amazing.
Although they could
but
win a Shogun,
Yeah.
right? That could win a Grammy.
But I thought it was too slow. I just couldn't get into it. I'm sure there's something that happens where you just sucks you in, but I just like.
We're waiting for that.
Yeah.
I think we might be more than 2 episodes in.
I just, like, you ever see The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Anything that has, like, those epic battle scenes at the end, Battle of the Bastards, Jon Snow and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm hoping that it leads up to that. And somebody told me that even though it's an excellent show and whatnot, it does continue that slow burn throughout the whole thing. Which means, I don't know. I'm on the... Please, if somebody's listening and they think I should watch Shogun.
I'm not a subtitle hater, but it's all like subtitles.
Yeah.
So
I
you
love
gotta,
subtitles.
Like, really pay attention.
It's expertly shot. I mean, the thing
Oh,
is,
it
it's
looks
beautiful
great,
to
yeah.
watch.
You know what I think the problem was? We got on a health kick when we started Shogun.
I know.
And when we don't sit and eat a big
Till 2
bolognese or
a.m.
something when he cooks,
Yeah.
we don't watch anything.
I know.
Yeah.
We've fallen off with that stuff. But maybe we'll live a little longer. So let's start light with
with
Japanese.
that.
I've never heard of this anywhere else but in Japan, and it's called the Restaurant
I
of
love
Mistaken
this.
Orders. I love this. In Tokyo, there's a restaurant where customers are happy to get bad service because they go in knowing that the waiters and waitresses all have dementia. It isn't a flaw. It's the feature. It's the primary qualification to get a job at the Restaurant of Mistaken Orders. You have to have dementia.
Imagine my mother there.
I think it's everyone. So it started in 2017. The Restaurant of Mistaken Orders, a Japanese television director named Shiro Oguni, created this business to change perceptions about aging and progressive cognitive impairment, or at least broaden the public's awareness of dementia. I love this. Listen, we all know, we're all aware of breast cancer. And you always hear, breast cancer awareness. Like, maybe change it to breast cancer, try to find a cure-ish type thing.
Yeah.
But I've heard so many things about those pink socks that everybody on your kids, I'm not talking about the NFL, everyone on your kid's soccer team has to wear pink socks during the month of November for breast cancer awareness. There are people who are making a lot of money off that. It has
October.
nothing to do with breast
I
cancer.
think it's October.
October? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's how much I'm aware. But I kind of like this story because he's doing it. I mean, I don't know, whatever. I don't even know what family member he had to go through the dementia process with before he started this. The surprise of the inadvertent mistakes has become the actual product of the restaurant, more so than the food itself. The idea for this project occurred to Shiro when he served a dumpling instead of a burger while visiting a nursing home. At first, he was going to send the dumpling back, but then he realized he was in a different world with varying levels of functionality, including mistakes that didn't really harm him. Why not just accept what he received as a way of respecting the difficulties people around him faced as an act of kindness and humility? At their first meal, when they first opened. By the way, this isn't like a traditional brick and mortar place. It's a pop-up, right? So they have it every now and again in different locations. But still, at their first meal, they did the stats. 37% of the orders were mistaken. But after the meal, 99% of the customers said they were happy.
Aww.
And that fucking infuriates me.
Yeah.
Because one person, there was probably 100 people at the meal, and 99 of them said they had a good meal. One person was like, I got the dumpling instead of the burger. There's some scumbag who went to the restaurant of mistaken orders and probably didn't like the fact that his order was mistaken. And that person should get his fucking head cut off. What?
The person might have ordered the dumpling and forgot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe it was an impaired person.
You never know.
You have a better heart than me. I would go to this restaurant in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
And I'm a food snob. I don't care what it's like.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you say you have someone with dementia?
My mom.
Yeah. My grandma had it. You don't understand.
My grandmother had it
like
too.
anything. You don't understand it until it's in your.
It's
life.
heartbreaking.
So this is an interesting thing.
It's heartbreaking. It's you know.
It's scary too because as I get older and my memory gets worse, I don't know if my memory's just getting worse the way that memory should get worse, or if it's a sign of other things. Because I had too much aluminum in my fucking antiperspirant maybe for 10 years.
Too much lead paint in your houses, right?
Too much lead paint.
Was that above you?
No, right. That was right in my wheelhouse. Lead paint in water fountains was my wheelhouse. Yep. Back in the day, yeah. For schools, everybody.
You probably were the kid that stayed there forever because you're always drinking water.
Or put his mouth on the mouthpiece. Like,
Oh yeah, I sucked that thing like Rachel at Tom's River.
Yeah.
So anyway, restaurant of mistaken orders seems to be something that is exclusively Japanese, and I think it's a good way to start this podcast. It's not going to be a very kind podcast at times to the Japanese. I apologize. I also apologize for any pronunciations that I'm getting wrong, but just know that I'm trying. I couldn't possibly look all these up. Japanese first birthdays. You know what they do on first birthdays? And what do you do on first birthdays here?
Me?
Yeah. What are they? They're kind of walking a little bit.
We rented out a pavilion, and we invited 300 people.
Yeah.
You don't do any. You don't do anything for them until they're like 7. They won't remember it.
When you turn 1 in Japan, it's called Ishu Mochi. Mochi is delicious.
I love mochi.
Right. Basically, you strap 2 kilograms, so around 4 pounds, of mochi to a toddler. Mochi is a Japanese rice cake. Sometimes it's done as a dessert around like the red bean paste that's a bridge like.
I've seen that.
Yeah, but you see, they look like buns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
So they take 4-pound buns. The 4-pound buns are like this.
Oh, I've seen some 4-pound buns, bro.
Yeah, you damn right. Clapped them. So they strap these things. They use something called an uroshiki, which is a traditional wrapping cloth, but they origami the shit out of it into almost a knapsack that they strap to this kid. And as this weight's quite heavy for a young child, most children tend to fall, which is a sign of good luck in Japanese culture. Carrying the cake on their back means they'll have food, health, and peace for the rest of their lives.
How cute that must be to watch them. They're the cutest babies, aren't they?
But if the baby is able to carry the mochi with no problems, this 1-year-old, it's a sign that they're going to be very independent and leave the house quickly. And so it's common for parents to trip the child as they walk with the mochi, as there is a belief that falling during the tradition means the kid will stay in the house for longer before moving out. And then after the carrying, some regions also do something called mochi fumi, or the stepping on the mochi. And then if the baby takes the mochi off and then steps on it, it means they're going to have strong legs to carry them through the rest of their life or some bullshit. It's very, very cute. I watched some of the stuff.
I don't think I would be subtle. I think I would straight up push our kid down.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want them going.
Yeah.
Just give me some cash. I don't want to do the mochi thing. Just give me some cold hard cash.
Give me some fucking
That's what every
cash.
1-year-old wants. Cash.
Yeah. Give me some yen. All All right. Speaking of kids, so I don't. It's no secret that Annie and I, our first kid's adopted, right? You know, Mick's adopted. So
Always
Mick,
wanted to do it.
Yeah, always want to do it. Our first child is a blessing. His name is Mick, and he's the best. So anyway, so we know we're pretty intimate with the whole adoption process here in the United States, and then particularly in New Jersey, because the laws are different all over the place, right? And we've got to see so many different people and so many different experiences as adopted parents. In Japan, it's a wild stat. 98% of adoptions are 20 to 30-year-old men being adopted by corporations and businesses. That way those businesses can remain family run. There aren't an overabundance of kids that are up for adoption in Japan. Japan's actually in a little bit of a crisis as far as that goes. I'll talk about it in a second. They're not reproducing as much as they should. And so the adoptions are very rarely babies, and they're almost always kids your age who then are going to take over the company.
So it's like a loophole.
It's a loophole, and
It's not like I love you so much I want to adopt you.
Right.
It allows these companies to remain family run.
It's financially motivated.
Right.
So it doesn't go to another family; it stays within their family. I get it.
Right.
Okay.
And
I
when
didn't
you
understand it
when
at
you
first.
give one family member something versus giving a gift to somebody else,
Yeah.
you avoid a lot of tax.
Yeah.
The current CEO of Suzuki
Lot of tax
Motors.
loopholes.
You ever heard of Suzuki Motors? I certainly have, right?
Yeah.
The old sidekick,
Yeah.
right? They were all aqua.
The CEO right now is Osamu Suzuki, and he's the fourth adopted son to run the company. So if these guys run the company for anywhere from 15 to 20 years apiece, so you're looking at, right, you're looking at 80 years of just adopting people. So all of a sudden, John Kelly is an up-and-comer in Suzuki, absolutely killing it. And then I'm this guy, I'm Amaro or whatever, Osamu Suzuki, and I know that I'm about to retire. I then adopt John Kelly. He gives up his name.
And he gets his
He
inheritance.
becomes John Suzuki, and then he takes over, and it's like I just gave it over to Suzuki.
and the money stays within the company.
I feel like we do not do this in the United States.
We don't.
Is there
We don't
some
do
sort
this.
of
I don't know.
non-loophole that you? Because I'm sure I wouldn't put it
We
past
just haven't
people.
figured it out how to do
I
it
wouldn't
yet.
put it past people to do that.
Of course.
Like
Right.
Succession, like the
Yeah.
first son you don't like. It's not, you could pick any
Right.
person that you like.
Matsui Securities, I used to do a lot of business with. Michio Matsui is also a fourth generation man who was adopted to run the company. There's an inn in Japan that's been around since the 700s, and it has been run by 46 generations of adopted management.
Do you think Rock Subaru and Chiba would do that with Kitchen Stadium?
Probably. Rock
What-
Subaru.
What's stopping the adopted kid from getting in there and just kind of like going rogue? Is there, like,
Oh, he's got to sign it. He's
Wait,
got to
wait,
sign his
wait till
life
you
away.
hear
I'm
about
sure.
some of the work practices in Japan.
Yeah.
There is no fucking around once you get through it.
Yeah, they're like.
Would you be the one guy that goes against that system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at
No.
that point, if you're getting
No,
adopted,
I'm a follower. I'm a sheep.
You'd be kicked
You're
out of
in
the
it.
family.
Right. Well, but if you have all the power, is there any way they can like get it away?
Kill
I
you,
don't-
I guess.
Yeah.
There's an aunt in that family.
Yeah.
She's the one
Plus,
you gotta
I
watch
think
out
it's a
for.
good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Like, I don't think John, when he becomes John Suzuki, when I hand it over to him, I don't think John had any better options than to
How
be the
cute would you be
CEO of
as John Suzuki?
even though
Come
his
on.
mom and dad are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Giving up with the Kelly name, a proud Irish name. But in Japan, they're like, no, become a fucking Suzuki. What are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
they're
Give up
they
on
went
Gucci.
outhouse to penthouse.
I'm
They're
sure they
full.
take care of everybody. Like my family's your family.
Yeah. Well, status is big, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you know what else skews this to it being 20 to 30-year-old men? Also, the adoption of one adult by another in Japan is commonly used as an alternative to same-sex marriage, which is both prohibited and not legally recognized. So you can't have any rights as a gay partner, but the elder of, let's say it's, two gay dudes, the older gay dude, that's how it has to happen, even if he's only 2 days older or a day older. He's the guy who then becomes the adopter, and his boyfriend becomes the adoptee. That's the stipulation. You have to adopt the younger. And then the estate of either party then can be inherited or absorbed by the other without the payment of the prohibitive gift tax that would otherwise apply. So that's how you can get your hooks into your gay partner's, estate. Not your hooks, but like you want a little
Yeah.
It's hard-earned money sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sore just thinking about it.
Rachel
And there were
works
similar
hard for it.
practices in ancient Rome where they would. By the way, the similarities between feudal Japan and ancient Rome are unbelievable. When we first started watching an HBO series called Rome back in the day, I loved it. But there was quite a lot of butt fucking in it, right? There was
Lot of sex.
there was quite a lot of gay sex in it, and between guys and younger guys, right? Like they're whatever it was.
The elders.
And I couldn't
would take
believe that
advantage of 'em.
that the samurai had the same thing. It was called shudo, and like samurai were banging their like young fucking assistants, all the time, male assistants, like male on male type thing. It's so many parallels between feudal Japan and ancient Rome.
I didn't know the samurai got down like that.
Yeah, the samurai got down like that. Yeah, they're big gay guys.
Good for
And
them.
listen, love is love. 2 holes in a heartbeat's all I need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. 2 holes in a heartbeat? Yeah, that's fine enough.
Maybe 3.
And I mentioned Japan's facing a rapidly aging population. More than a quarter of the country's
That might be
population
why.
is over the age of 65. 25%, more than 25% of Japan is over the age of 65. Birth rates are at an all-time low, and this is a wild stat that I found. Japan sells more adult diapers than they sell baby diapers. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
A
so that's
quarter
the-
of the thing is
Well, you
65
got to
and older.
figure their baby boom was the same time as ours, right? So it makes sense that their baby
No,
boomers
but
are that age.
our levels of population growth have remained steady. Japan is at like
I don't
all-time
think so.
lows.
I think we're in a major decline.
Oh, yeah. Good. There's too fucking many of us, to be quite honest with you. We'll stay with working in Japan. There's a practice, common practice, called Karoshi, which translates to death by overwork. The word Karoshi was invented in the 1970s to describe the deaths caused by work-related stresses and pressures, and unfortunately, it's still a regular fixture in Japan's lexicon today. It's an example of something I studied in economics back in college, which was uneconomic growth. Economic growth that creates a decline in the quality of life. And then there's like that parable of the broken window. You break somebody's window, it costs $6. Does it put back money into the economy? But the $6 you paid for the broken window could have went to like supporting the arts. Like there's all this shit that I spoke about back in econ class, which is coming rushing back to me now. And I remember one of them is uneconomic growth. And that's what they're doing. They're working hard, but they're working hard at the expense that they're killing themselves. Companies that overwork their employees are referred to in Japan as black companies, which sounds like a term reserved for sweatshops, but it also covers the corporate jobs where executives are working 80 hours a week and not taking days off. So I am not talking about 13-year-old kids that are just sewing Nikes for 22 hours a day. We're talking about people who are showing up in shirts and ties and going to corporate jobs. On average in Japan, workers take only 52% of the paid leave which they are entitled to in corporate America. Like Barstool, I don't know. Do you know how many days off you took this year?
For vacation, none, brother, none.
I don't know how many days off I took this week. Like we have very flexible
You
schedules.
never take a day off.
But I remember, but then I can spend the whole morning a bit. Like
you
it's
work
just different.
wherever we
Yeah.
are.
When
You do
I
everything
worked
with
for
us.
25 fucking years, every day I got up at 5:20. I worked till the bell rang, and we had a set amount. You got 2
They
weeks
forced
and
you.
then 3 weeks when you're an MD, and a mandatory 2 weeks. It was 4 weeks as an MD rather. But it was like really fucking regimented.
Yeah.
So in those regimented jobs where you get, I think on average you get 15 days off in Japan, only 52% take all 15 days.
Pride.
That's
They
not the way it is in America.
No, they take
No.
so much
No.
pride in their
No,
work.
it's not. The most common medical causes of Karoshi deaths are heart attacks and strokes due to the stress and also malnourishment or fasting. Mental stress in the workplace can also cause workers to commit suicide. So I told you that Karoshi was death by overwork. The suicide from overworking, the pressures of overworking, has a name too, Koroji Satsu. In 2019, the country had the second highest suicide rate among the G7 developed nations. In 2022, even more recently, suicide rates in Japan increased by 17% from 2020 due to a number of factors attributed to the spread of COVID. 70% of suicides in Japan are male, and it's the leading cause of death. I'm throwing these out kind of flippantly, but the leading cause of death in men aged 20 to 44 in Japan is suicide? That's fucking
That's
It almost
wild.
sounds
Yeah.
like it's. I feel.
And
I hate
women
to say
15
it,
to 29 years old.
It almost is
Killing
more
themselves.
of. It's the suicide comes. It's almost from an addiction, right? Like work. Like their work is an addiction for them, and it gets so bad that they commit suicide from their addiction. Right?
It adds to the population problem, right? Because these
Definitely.
people who are killing themselves are men between the ages of 20 and 44 and women between the ages of 15 and 29. Those are your baby making years. You know what I'm saying? So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy. But what happens if the pressure starts to get to you in Japan, but you don't want to kill yourself or you don't want to work yourself to death and you don't want to quit the company? Because
Get on the phone and call BetterHelp.
quitting a company is seen as shameful in Japanese culture.
I thought you'd
So-
love that.
Yeah, no, it's good. So, but I'm already past that one. So let's look ahead and see if we can fit some of the other stuff
Yeah.
in. And I'll throw it right in. So if you don't want to kill yourself or work yourself to death, and you have too much pride that you don't want to quit, what do? You become part of the Johatsu. These are people in Japan who purposely vanish from their established lives without a trace.
Oh, sounds awesome.
So it does sound okay,
Doesn't
right?
it?
Yeah. I'd like to be a Johatsu maybe for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it sounds awesome on paper, and then you're like, I want to go back.
Yeah.
I'd be a Jihatsu supporter. Like I'd be a part of their underground railroad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's basically what it is. The term Jihatsu started being used in the 1960s. At that time, it was used in the context of people who decided to escape unhappy marriages rather than endure formal divorce proceedings. And now, the Missing Persons Search Support Association of Japan. That's a mouthful. That looks terrible on a sweatshirt, probably. The Missing Persons Search Support Association of Japan, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting families of the Johatsu, estimate hundreds of thousands of people go missing each year, and a database of missing persons still does not exist in the country.
And they won't be using 23andMe. See, everybody resigned.
Oh, did they?
They're closing that place down.
Yeah. So,
Can't use that anymore.
if you're in Japan and you're being overworked, you can continue to work until you have a stroke and die. You can kill yourself from the pressure. I don't recommend either of those two things. As a matter of fact, I hope you sincerely don't do that. Maybe take a look at the Johatsu and live in the tunnels.
Just disappear. Yeah.
You've been
Just
with
change your
tunnel
name.
I've
people.
been in the tunnels, the Vegas tunnels, baby, the mole people.
Yeah, like those people are the types that just, I don't know. But these guys actually, Johatsu, they spend a lot of time in like gambling parlors, playing like that pachinko or whatever.
Well,
the fuck they play over there.
that was the mole people. Most of them had a gambling addiction.
Oh,
pretty
really?
much. Yeah, and
Oh,
they're just
'cause
like
they're out
down
in
there.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. We're going to move on to Japanese and their fascination with gas. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, real quick.
Go.
Korea is like that as well, and I heard.
Oh, is it?
Meaning, in terms of expectations and how much they work, and like stress being a major factor.
Lars just said Japan's the number 2 G7 country rate of suicide. South Korea is number 1.
Yeah, so they say because South Korea used to be a very poor country, and then it had this massive, build up into what they are today, but it was relatively like short amount of time. So they still have this like ingrained mentality of like, you can't stop for a second because we're poor kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't.
Yeah, some
Have-
values
yeah.
we used to have, and then we lost them.
Well, yeah.
Thanks, TikTok.
Well, you know what it is too. As an add-on, it's like the dollar. We have like this
Yeah.
beauty of the dollar. If you live in another country and you don't have your money in that currency, it's
Yeah.
different.
I-
Different life.
Like you casually see all the time of the people pushing Japanese people into subway cars, like all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But as you deep dive into this, I think the subways in Tokyo stop running at midnight. So there's a phenomenon where people who just don't want to leave work until their boss does. So people will sit around. Japanese have great terms for everything. Like they have single words for stuff that would take us sentences to describe. And one of them, I can't remember what it was, obviously, but it's pretending to work until your boss leaves, and then when your boss leaves, sometimes they'll leave purposely so you can't take a train because it's too late. So there's dozens of people on any given work day sleeping in train stations that aren't homeless. They just simply cannot get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're in their suits.
Yeah, they're full suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We started watching another show that we gave up on about that guy who was the reporter
Yes.
in Japan.
Yes,
That
well, you
handsome
gave up.
kid.
I watched most of
Yeah,
it.
it was just okay.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was, but that's what would happen to him a lot.
Yeah.
The last train, and then he'd go and sleep in the office.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm deep in Japanese right now. I'm wearing my Japanese pants, by the way. It's a picture of my dog in a kimono with cherry blossoms all around him. Japanese are fascinated with the ideas of gas. We'll start with the Hayobikuni. Hayobikuni. In the Edo period, which lasted from 1603 to 1868, it's a long time, women of noble standing would often hire a Hayobikuni. These were women who worked as a servant of high-ranking warlords or magistrates, and their primary job was to take credit for any gas that their employer may have dropped. So if a rich woman was to break wind, this person would say, "That was me," and be like, as soon as somebody smelt it, the Hayobikuni had to say it was them that dealt it, even though they
Yeah.
did.
Wouldn't that be
What a
more
fucking
obvious?
word. What?
Wouldn't that be more obvious
It
if
is
I
more
walked around
obvious.
and just took all the credit for you? They'd be like,
But I also
"You know
think
who did it."
But I also think it's just a sign of wealth. Like, she doesn't, like, hold on. Brr. Oh, what about that, Susie? Oh, I did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just one of those things that like proves that you got a lot of fucking dough.
Yeah.
There's
Do it
so
'cause you
many
can.
references to flatulence in Japanese cultural studies that it amazed me. So I brought this up, at first. I'll go on to a set of paintings that are relatively popular or famous, and they're called the Higassen Scroll. The Higassen Scroll is a long series of paintings executed in a traditional Japanese style that depicts an epic battle between combatants whose primary weapon seems to be flatulence. In fact, Higassen translates as fart battle. Ugh. And that perfectly describes what's depicted in the scroll. Look it up. Google the shit out of HE-GASSEN and the Higassen Scroll. I put them in there.
Oh,
They're
I'm looking.
fucking weird. Right?
A fart blasting through a drywall.
Yeah, one's going through a drywall, knocking over the guys on the other side. That one guy's down low. I don't know who covered up his genitals.
I was wondering if that was you or if that was the artist that did that. Covered up the
No,
genitals.
it wasn't
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It definitely wasn't me. I'd love to see his
You're like,
cock.
I gotta censor
Yeah.
this. I don't want Vib to see that.
And then I'm going to circle back to the gas fascination on this next topic, Japanese monsters, because we spoke in great detail about toilet ghosts. By the way, I would do that segment all over again. I love it.
Yeah.
I like the whole thing.
Red paper, blue paper.
Yeah. My legs are on the Tenshu Railway or
Jess
something
loved
like
that one. My girlfriend Jessica and her
Yeah.
son Quinn loved that
So
one.
I've told you about Japanese ghosts before and how to get rid of them, but we're going to tell you about Japanese monsters right now, specifically one named Kappa, Kappa, Kappa. I need to explain that some Japanese believe that your soul exists in a magical orb called the Shirikodama. So your soul is in this little orb. This ball is filled with your soul, and it resides right up your ass inside of your anus. So look at the word, Shirikodama. Shiri translates roughly to anus, and Kodama literally means small ball, or sometimes a small jewel. So that ball or jewel back there in your ass, housing the soul or spirit, upon removal, that person who has the Shirikodama removed from their anus will die. Okay, so I want to get the soul of Vibsy. I reach up his ass, I grab the Shirikodama. I now have your soul, and you die.
Dead.
And that's bad news because this monster I alluded to earlier, the Kappa, is a frog-like being who thrives on reaching up unsuspected victims' asses while they're swimming and removing their Shirikodama or their anus soul. And I put in a couple of pictures of him too. They're kind of interesting, right?
I'm seeing him.
Yeah, like this frog guy's reaching up somebody. Like the
It
second
looks like
one.
something from Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, it does have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of
Right?
look to it. So Kappa, these things, are said to roughly be about the size of a child inhabiting the ponds and rivers of Japan, but despite their small stature, they are physically stronger than any grown man. They have a bowl-shaped indent on the top of their heads called its dish, and this big dent retains some of the water from where they swim. And if this dish is damaged or if the liquid is lost, either through spilling or drying up, the kappa is severely weakened. So they come out of the water. They have this water inside their head. You can see the dent on every picture of a kappa. They always have like that sort of friar tuck thing. So they need to keep some of the water from their stream or their pond inside their head. They also have 3 assholes. They have 3 anuses that allows them to pass 3 times as much gas as regular Japanese people, because that's important to Japanese for some reason. I don't know why, but everything that I talk about has a reference towards flatulence. It's fucking weird. What do kappa eat? The cucumber. The cucumber is their traditional favorite meal. There used to be a tradition where people would write the names of their family members on cucumbers and send them afloat into streams to prevent the family from being attacked.
Not where I saw that going.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. And ramming it right up to your shirataki. And in some regions, it was customary to eat cucumbers before swimming as protection. But I would think that would just lure in, like if you smelt the cucumber.
100%.
I'm not Japanese, so I can't understand that. Yeah. But so anyway, you send Vibsy on a cucumber down. The kappa sees it and says, okay, Vibsy's safe, and he eats the cucumber. And if there's one thing you're going to remember about this podcast, the kappa's favorite food being cucumber is the reason a cucumber-filled sushi roll is known as kappamaki. And that's the God's honest truth. So I don't know why I put a picture of a cucumber roll in there. I mean, we've all had it. So if you order a cucumber roll from any Japanese
cucumber
place.
In all of them too?
Huh?
Cucumbers in pretty much all of them.
Yeah. So if some people who don't like fish just order a cucumber roll. The kappamaki, it's a coward's order. For people, I don't like raw fish. Don't go to fucking sushi.
It's got a nice little crunch in it, though.
It does. I like cucumber with other things, but just cucumber.
Yeah, just cucumbers. Coward's roll.
And in case you think I'm embellishing, here's a cut and paste from the wiki article on kappa under the section marked, quote, as a menace. This is what they say. As water monsters, kappa have been blamed for drownings and are often said to try to lure people into water and pull them in with their great skill at wrestling. They are sometimes said to take their victims for the purpose of drinking their blood, eating their livers, or gaining power by taking their shirikodama, a mythical ball said to contain the soul, which is located inside the anus. So that's exactly what they do. Mm-hmm. So I think it's sort of similar to our vampires, which suck our blood sort of thing.
Yeah.
Zombies that eat brains.
Yep.
Instead, they have frogmen that go up your ass. At the height of their popularity, there was believed to be over 7,000 kappa existing at one time throughout the waters of Japan. But Kyusenbo has always been the king of the kappa, and he lives in the Chikugo River, not the Chicago River. And I put a picture of Kyusenbo on there just because he's absolutely glorious. As is often the case, these monsters were created to scare people away from certain things. Godzilla has long been considered an allegory for the danger of nuclear weapons, so it's believed that kappa have been used for generations to warn children of the dangers of lurking in rivers and lakes. So it's just, obviously an old wives' tale, we would call it, and it's don't go swimming without an adult, or at least without a cucumber, because you're going to fucking drown. Also is an alibi for people who drowned. Drowning victims are usually found with a distended anus. I didn't know that, but apparently once your body gets waterlogged, it pushes your asshole out, or at least a swollen anus. So when they're recovered from the water, in old-time Japan, this odd change to the body needed an explanation, so it's speculated that the shirikodama and the kappa's insatiable desire for them was the possible explanation. As he pulled out, he distended or whatever, sleeved the guy's asshole. Which is whatever. And as always, there are a few ways to escape a kappa. So, as a public service, Twisted History.
Yeah, I need to know.
Gotta know.
Would you ever go to Japan?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you?
Absolutely.
John, have you been?
No, not yet. I was talking to Ron about it recently.
Really?
Because he was just there for like 2 weeks.
He loved it.
He loved it.
Yeah, he couldn't speak highly enough.
Yeah, he said that I do very well. I thought I wouldn't fit in a lot of stuff because I'm oversized.
Oh, yeah.
It's a smaller culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go. But if you do go, and if you go swimming in any of the waters...
You wouldn't go because of the height thing, or is it...
Like when I went to Germany, I used to go to Germany once a year, and everything was kind of cramped, but very efficient. Like when I used to stay in this one hotel, I'd be like, geez, I don't have a lot of room. Like, where can I get a water? And all of a sudden, like, a water would be right there. Like, everything was kind of... And I think that's how it would be in Japan. I'm fascinated with the food, and all that stuff, so I should go. I'm fascinated with the culture. So no, I would go. I would go. I just always thought that whenever I go to sit in like a bus, I just don't fit. You know what I mean? So I imagine
When was the last time you took a bus? Just a
Yeah,
curiosity.
you getting on a lot of buses in Japan?
I know.
I don't know. Would I? Would I be getting a lot of cars in Japan? Do they seem like Japan has fucking a lot of
They have
cyber
Uber?
vehicles?
Uber?
Well, you might not be getting a
Yeah,
bus,
but
but like
wouldn't the
a
Ubers
bullet
be a lot
train.
of like
What
fucking?
car do you fit in the best?
I think you can all go. You
Of
can
all
walk
the cars.
in Tokyo.
I'm not walking.
This guy.
I'd take the train.
Some of our compact Ubers you fit most
Imagine
in.
me in a fucking train while someone's pushing
Oh,
my
he's
back
such a
with
diva.
7,000 other Japanese people.
You
I'd
are
go
such
crazy.
a diva. You really
Oh,
are.
but
a
I
diva.
bet they're polite. I bet they would never push on the back of the seat. You know what I mean?
No, to get me in. You know how they sometimes do that
no,
shit?
that's the worst. Yeah,
That was NASCAR. You're having PTSD from NASCAR.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go. If you go and you're swimming and a frogman comes up to get you in the asshole, the Kappa are obsessed with politeness. So if one of those approaches to you, just take
Please.
a very deep bow, and it has no choice but to return the gesture. Remember when I talked about the dish on the top of the head, though?
Yeah.
When they do bow, the water spills out of the dish, rendering it unable to leave the bowing position until the plate is refilled with water from the river in which it lives. And if a person refills it, then that kappa is indebted to you for the rest of eternity. What a great loophole.
I thought you were gonna say bowing just gives him a better angle to get in.
You'd
in
think,
your,
right?
In
It
the
would then
beehole.
run around you.
Yeah.
But if
no.
you give it, then he gives it, dumps out, you essentially save its life.
This is nightmare fuel for me, by the way.
Yeah, I'm hoping. A similar weakness with the kappa involves its arms, which allegedly can be easily pulled from its body. If an arm is detached, the kappa will perform favors or share knowledge in exchange for its return. Apparently, it can put its arms back on. So if you say, like, got your nose, if it's like, got your arm, give it back, and I'll be nice to you. Kappa have been driven away by their aversion to iron, sesame, or ginger. Keep that on you. And 4, again, it has to happen. Kappa cannot stand flatulence, so you need to gas in their general direction to protect yourself. And then I put in another drawing. I put in so many drawings of Japanese people just blasting ass at various things, at each other, at lizard people. And I have one more monster. It's called I might have more than one. It's called the Kijimuna with a K, which are mythological creatures that are native to the island of Okinawa. It's where your dad was stationed.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a little bummed about the 23andMe thing. Now I'm
Yeah.
never going to know how many siblings I have in Okinawa.
Yeah. They live in trees, these
He's getting to
Kijimuna,
work.
and are often
Big
being
time.
described again as child size with red hair covering their bodies and their large heads. They're also known to be excellent fishermen, able to catch many fish, but then eating only one eye of the fish before throwing the rest of it away. The Kijimuna are known to be very mischievous with humans. One of their best-known tricks is to lie upon a person's chest, making them unable to move or breathe. Imagine being asleep and you wake up and there's a heavy object on your chest that's making it impossible for you to move or breathe, and it winds up being a tiny but very strong red-headed Japanese fisherman. And that's what a Kijimuna is. That's me setting the table. And that's a popular image. I believe the German word is Nachtmar, which is allegedly a demon comes and sits on your chest.
Like a sleep paralysis type thing.
And
They
that's
say
where they
that
get the
cats
word
do that.
nightmare from.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what they say cats do? Do
Oh,
babies?
cats steal your breath. Yeah, baby's breath.
baby's breath.
Fucking evil
Yeah.
bastards.
Scumbags.
The Kijimona may offer to carry a human on its backs. So if you want, you can hop on this thing's back because it jumps through mountains and stuff like that. But the Kijimuna dislike people passing gas on their backs and will immediately throw the human off no matter where they are at the moment. So that's another thing. Like, they can't have that without mentioning something. It's a theme.
Maybe they're just very immature.
Yeah. Oh, and the Kijimuna hate octopus. So you just keep like a toy octopus on you at all times. You bust that out. And all of
You
a
sure it
sudden the
can
little
be
redhead
fake?
runs away. All right. The last one is the Tanuki, which I'm going to talk about. But first, we got a delivery last night. Every plate.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. Every plate
It's
delivers
so
dependable,
good.
affordable, and delicious recipes right to your door. And forget that sticker shock. Every plate meals start at only $2.99 per meal. Makes sense why they are America's best value meal kit with thousands of great reviews. Each box contains pre-portioned ingredients and easy-to-follow recipes ready in about 30 minutes. They sent us a box, expertly packaged up. The top of it had like 2 small bags. Each bag had 4 monster Brussels sprouts.
You have to admit, what do I love more than anything? I love looking at vegetables. How pretty are they,
Take
right?
such a couple of potatoes.
Oh my God!
yeah.
Right? Vegetables are gorgeous. You open this thing, this box.
Yeah.
It's art.
You
It's
lift up
so
the
pretty.
second flap, and underneath that are just a couple of, vacuum sealed chicken breasts, like ground pork, ground beef, all the stuff you need, and then 3 idiot-proof cards with step-by-step instructions on how to make lemon Dijon chicken or this or that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to follow these cards. Like, I'm probably going to throw the cards away. But everything that they have in there, I can make a meal out of. So
You know
I
what
don't.
that can prevent?
What?
The Karoshi death.
Yeah.
They're malnourished. Send them a box.
Yeah. So it really is. I think it's, so there's still some cooking involved, which I find to be a benefit. And even like somebody who's just starting to cook, it's idiot proof.
The directions are they're so easy. I need that.
Yeah,
It's perfect for me.
You're
Yeah.
expert level. You can like go off and do your own thing.
Yes.
I need the directions. I'd be perfect for it. Like,
I need
can-
everything. This
I
thing
can
is
follow that
great.
easily.
You know what I treat it like? I'm going way too long on every plate. I treat my every plate delivery like the movie Chopped.
Oh.
The TV show
Iron
Chopped.
I was gonna say Iron Chef.
Yeah,
I think that's
I
Japanese.
open
right?
up the box. I don't know what's in it. I pull it out and then I make something delicious.
I ordered it this time. This time they asked me. They sent me like this questionnaire of what I wanted. So I put all the things that I love. So
and we got them all. Yeah. So and it's not
so
overwhelming.
easy,
I think
though.
I got like 4 Italian sausages. So whatever. I think it's great. So with every plate's rotating menu of 26 weekly recipe options, you can always count on simple recipes you'll love. Plus, they're consistently great value week after week. Join Every Plate today and pay only $2.99 per meal. Whew. Plus, get 50% off your first box for all box sizes. That's a great deal. Get this amazing deal by going to everyplate.com/podcast. Yeah, all right. Everyplate.com/podcast. And then you enter the code HISTORY299 because you're getting $2.99 per meal. So everyplate.com/podcast, code HISTORY299. And if you do that, you'll get $2.99 per meal, plus get 50% off your first box. So you can choose if you're going to be feeding 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever the hell you want. Do it. Try it out. I think it's very good. I talked about Tanuki right before we went to Every Plate, and they're actually a real breed of animal. They exist. They're very cute. They're Japanese raccoon dogs. Is that a
Yeah.
cute animal?
Yeah,
Very
very
cute.
cute.
It looks like a raccoon. It's a canine family. It's not raccoon. It's not like.
Oh, really? That's
yeah, I believe
canine
raccoon
family?
is vermin, right? Like it's
I would
part of
think
that
so,
type
the
family. But this is
rodents, yeah.
definitely canid. Like it's a canine family.
Kind of looks like a Wolverine type.
Yeah, it
does
does
have
look
a
like
honey
a Wolverine.
badgerish type thing
yeah,
too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How cute is that?
Yeah. Although the Tanuki are real, the Bake Tanuki that appear in literature have always been depicted as strange, even supernatural animals that are reputed to have abilities similar to those attributed to foxes. They can shapeshift into other things or people and can possess human beings. So the big one that you see those statues,
Yeah.
I'll get to in a sec. I always go to one at Mount Fuji. I bring
You
it up for
violate
2
the one at
reasons.
Mount Fuji.
If you've ever played Super Mario Brothers, you know the Tanuki suit. All of a sudden, Mario jumps into a raccoon suit,
Oh.
and his tail allows him to fly.
Yeah, I think that's Super Mario 3.
Yeah, so that's the Tanuki suit. That's what it's based on. That raccoon dog, which is kind of cool,
Yeah,
right?
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's something. I've never known what that was. I just thought they're like
Yeah,
a flying raccoon.
and also now, just like we did the Taneki Neko, the cat that does this,
Oh,
we did
yeah,
something
yeah,
on
yeah.
that once before. Next time you go to a Japanese restaurant, you might see a Tanuki statue, and all the statue have the same traits. So they look kind of like the raccoon dogs. That's what they're based on. You can tell. They're more cartoonish.
Tell 'em.
They always wear a hat
Yep.
to protect against trouble or bad weather. They always have big cartoonish eyes that perceive the environment and help make good decisions. They always are carrying some sort of a sake container, like a bottle or one of those like sake barrels and stuff like that. And that's supposed to represent virtue. They always have a big tail that provides steadiness. They always have a big belly that symbolizes bold and calm decisiveness.
Yeah.
They always have a friendly smile. And they always have an oversized scrotum that symbolizes financial luck. So a lot of people think it's the feet, but the feet of
Oh.
the Tanuki are out here.
Oh,
That's the feet.
damn.
It's 2 giant nuts
Yeah.
with its little stub of
Of
a
an acorn?
cock.
Oh.
You
Not-
believe it.
not a good cock.
Every one of them have giant balls. So if you see a Tanuki statue. Google the shit out of it right now. They all have giant balls.
I think this one's balls have been touched.
So it's
warm.
lucky to
Yeah.
do it.
Oh,
So when we
So
go
now
to,
I know why. I always. Oh, that makes.
so I have kids take pictures in front of me. Kids have no idea that they're next to like giant testicles.
Yeah. Well,
I
and
gotta
they have
get hobbies.
They have firm, perky tits.
They do.
They
yeah.
do. They really
Yeah,
are.
they just have those. They don't stand for anything. They just
Yeah.
have them.
And I love it. I'd put one in my living room right now if I could. By the way, this one costs $21,000. Oh yeah. But anyway, so that's Tanuki. We're going to start getting a little bit random here. I heard this fact once and I never bothered to see if it was true. Only foreigners and criminals wear sunglasses in Japan. I don't know. I wouldn't know if that's true, and I looked it up, and it's kind of
You
true,
would
but
be
why?
such a badass in Japan.
It winds up the lighter color the eye, the more sensitive to light you are.
Yeah,
Really?
I've heard that.
Right. What are you? You're blue.
Hazel.
Hazel?
Yes.
You're hazel too, right? You're green.
I'm green.
You're green.
Isn't Hazel
John-
brown?
Hazel's green and brown, brother.
I
And
didn't
they
know that.
change.
Yeah.
That's cool.
John,
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
would have
good.
thought
Hazel
you had
brown.
hazel. I would have thought green.
Like
John's
brown.
the darkest eyes of all of us.
Yeah,
Some
brown
They
eyes.
look green.
Yeah. There's some. They change.
His eyes look like my color eyes.
Yeah.
They
don't
do actually.
They do look
yeah.
very
I was gonna
similar.
say, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have blue eyes, beautiful blue eyes.
You do.
So
What are
the-
you, John?
John's dark.
You're
Brown.
brown.
Yeah, he's got brown eyes. But so the darker the eyes, the less likely you need to have sunglasses. Like I read
Yep.
through some of the science of it. It's not just the darkness of the eyes. It has to deal with pigmentation and all that kind of stuff.
The
But
cones
just
and rods,
in general.
you could get into it. But
Yeah. So the Japanese don't have as hard of a time with the sun since they all have darker, usually brown eyes.
Mhm.
Like you very rarely see a Japanese like Miao Lin had green eyes from Big Trouble in Little China. You very
What the
rarely
hell?
see that type of shit.
Mm.
So also you can wear them if you need them, but wearing sunglasses indoors or in certain social settings is seen as rude or antisocial in Japanese culture. And yes, wearing sunglasses is associated with the Yakuza. So dark sunglass wearers are often perceived as threatening or suspicious. I don't know. I just put two random Yakuza guys up there. I Googled Yakuza, and they both happen to be wearing sunglasses.
Until they get inside for a little while, and then all of a sudden they turn clear. You ever see like how like a lot of old people wear those?
transitions.
Yeah, like the old people wear them, right?
Yeah.
Like like that.
Costi wears them.
Does he?
Yeah, Costi's. I remember he used to go out in the sun, and also, phew, it's kind of cool. I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah, if you're in America and you're wearing sunglasses, I think the same's true. Like if you're doing it in America, you got to be like a rock star. Like only rock stars can get away with wearing sunglasses.
I wear
inside.
sunglasses all the time. I'm very photosensitive.
Or you're high.
No, he's saying inside.
Inside.
inside,
yeah,
or
yeah,
you're
yeah.
high.
Like if you're wearing sunglasses indoors, you got to be a rock star or you're just like a stoner.
Right.
I'm kind of blind, so when I wear them inside,
Got
it's
prescription?
usually because I can't find my regular ones,
Right.
And I can't see, so I'll be wearing mine, and I'll get made fun of for it the entire time. But until I find my regular ones, then I can switch them.
I get that. I get
I'm
that.
not- I'm not a
My eyes
badass.
are still hanging in there.
Yeah,
My
they look
hearing is
great.
going, I think, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh?
We got to blast through this, John. Do we have a
Yeah,
call with
that's
this kid
classic.
soon?
Oh, two. I
Okay.
mean, you got
Yeah.
time.
Japanese torture. I always talk about torture. I don't know why. I love it. People are still sending me it. Somebody just sent me one this morning. We were talking about escapism, where they put you in the boat. Mm-hmm. Remember when you shit yourself inside the boat because they feed you so much milk and honey?
Oh,
Then
yeah.
So somebody had said to me something like in the hole, where they put people in a barrel with just their head sticking out. And like they paint their heads with honey and milk, so like flies attack them.
Oh.
And meanwhile, they just let them shit in the thing until the maggots dig into them.
Yeah.
But anyway, when we did the Twisted History of Torture, we mentioned some used by the Japanese. One was the bamboo torture. Since bamboo grows kind of sharp and it grows quickly, they would lash people above bamboo plants, and the plant would actually grow through
Yeah.
them. But one of the ones that they were very fond of, which we really didn't talk too much about, was the boiling alive. It's certainly not limited to Japan, I know that, but boiling someone alive was a very popular way to torture or execute a criminal in feudal Japan. One of the most famous examples was a guy named Ishikawa Goemon, or Goemon. I think it's Goemon. He was the Japanese version of Robin Hood, except when he got caught stealing from the rich to give to the poor, those rich people boiled him in a vat of boiling water on the banks of the Kamo River in Kyoto, along with his young son in 1594. And I put the picture of it. That's their Robin Hood trying to hold his young son above the boiling water as they boiled him to death. Which
Guy's
is
a
crazy.
hero.
Yeah. And today in Japan, any large iron kettle-shaped bathtub is now called a Gaemon Buro, or a Gaemon bath, after this guy who was boiled to death alongside his son. And I'm not sure whether his son was killed in that, because in this depiction, he's holding his son above his head. It is said that his son was injured, but he actually saved his son's life as he was born. Either way, you can look up the Japanese Robin Hood. It's kind of fascinating. Another form of Japanese torture, we may have gone over it, was called stone hugging, which kind of sounds adorable, right? Like kind of hug stones until you die.
Pet rock.
Yeah. In Japan, it's called ishidaki, and it's a torture method in which someone kneels on a ridged block of wood. So it's either over like firewood that has all these peaks, or just a purposely made ridged welcome mat. And you kneel down onto it, sit down, ass on the back of your heels, and they put these gigantic stones on your lap. These stones are 100 pounds apiece, and they usually put like 3 or 4, so you have 400 pounds of stone on you until your legs break over the ridged mat below it, while they're hitting you with a bamboo whip. I put a picture of that
and
too.
your hands are tied behind your back.
Look at these poor bastards. I mean, that looks fucking and that's stone hugging. There's also hole hanging. Sounds kind of yeah. People are hung upside down by their feet and lowered into a hole
for this,
and the hole is filled with human shit. So hole hanging or anasarushi was a Japanese torture technique in the 17th century to coerce Christians to recant their faith. One of the victims' hands would be held tight with a rope, but the other would be left free so they could signal their willingness to recant. All right, I'm done. Fuck God. I'm Shinto or Buddhist. An estimated 2,000 Christians died as martyrs this way. And in this way, the shogunate practically purged Christianity from Japan. If you look at most popular religions in Japan, it's Buddhism, Shintoism, 4% something else, and then 1% Christian. Like they got all the fucking Christians out of Japan.
Yeah.
So the most famous person to be whole hang. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Isn't that movie with it's a terrible movie, Scorsese?
Oh yeah. Wait, no, that's not The Mission.
No, the one where Andrew Garfield goes over.
Never saw it.
Oh, it's terrible.
Was it terrible?
It's so slow.
He's
I mean, it's beautiful.
He's a missionary.
Is he Jesuit?
Yeah.
I don't know it.
Silence.
Yeah, that's it. Silence. Yeah.
Silence. I
Yeah.
don't know that one.
Obscure Scorsese.
The most famous guy to be killed with this method is Saint Lorenzo Ruiz, the first Filipino martyr to be canonized by the Roman Catholic Church. Congratulations. In 1637, Saint Lorenzo was whole hanged in Nagasaki, and instead of renouncing his religion, as he's dipping his head into a hole full of shit, his last words were, "I'm a Catholic and wholeheartedly do accept death for God. Had I 1,000 lives, all of these to him shall I offer." That's saying, fuck you. Buddhism.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but even if you said, I give right before any of this, isn't God supposed to know what's in your heart?
Yeah, no, but these guys were hardcore. Yeah, I mean, I would lie.
I'm saying how hardcore. Like, wouldn't you be?
You're
able
asking that question to a guy who decidedly would hide under the dead if I was ever in a wartime. Like, I would just be pulling dead bodies over me and being as quiet as fucking possible. So as a natural coward who's used you as a shield
I know.
1 or 2 times,
I know.
I would tell them
Facts.
whatever they wanted to know. I would tell them whatever they wanted.
That's what I mean. Can't you just say it and
Fuck God. Yeah, I'll forget about it. But this guy, Saint Lorenzo Ruiz, first Filipino saint. Mm-hmm. After his death, his body was cremated and his ashes were thrown into the Sea of Nagasaki to prevent other Christians from gathering his sacred relics. Because people always like carry around like Padre Pio, like a piece of his, the band of his underwear, and they think they have luck for the rest of their lives. Speaking of the Philippines, let's talk about another stain on Japan's history, and that's the Manila Massacre. I spoke in depth about the rape of Nanjing. It's a terrible thing what the Japanese had done to American GIs. We spoke about what they had done at Kyushu University when those guys, I think 8 of them had crash landed and they wound up vivisecting them.
Yep.
We spoke about what they had done, the raping and murdering of all these Chinese people. I've never known about what they had done to the Filipinos, and nothing's better to tell you that than the Manila Massacre. But towards the end of... in 1945, Japan was losing the war, right? In September of 1945, they officially surrendered. September of 1945. Why did they surrender in September of 1945? Because in August, the 6th and the 9th, we dropped 2 big bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Less than a month later, we give up. In March of 45, the Japanese army was on the balls of its ass. They kind of knew that they were losing this war, but they weren't taking any prisoners. They were killing everybody, and it was impossible for them to surrender because of their culture. So they were losing their toehold on Manila, right, in the Pacific Theater. So they decided to take their anger and frustration out on the civilians of the city. And this included violent mutilations, rapes, and massacres that occurred in schools, hospitals, and convents. You want to make people angry? Fuck with people in schools, hospitals, or convents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Right?
talk about your economics class in college. Shout out to my teacher, Mr. Sawyer, in high school for teaching us this. My sophomore year of
really?
high school.
Yeah. Good teacher means everything.
Yeah.
The Japanese forced Filipino women and children to be used as human shields in their front lines to protect their positions. And those women and children who survived were then murdered. Hotels were overtook by Japanese troops and designated as rape centers. I'll talk about one of these because I don't want to talk too much. I urge you to read up on some of the inhumane shit that went down. But the Bayview Hotel, which sounds like it's in Coney Island, but the Bayview Hotel in Manila was one such hotel used as a designated rape center. According to testimony at the ensuing war crimes trial, 400 women and girls were rounded up from Manila's wealthy Ermita district and submitted to a selection board that picked out the 25 who were considered the most beautiful. 400 come into the Bayview Hotel. The 25 quote-unquote hottest ones were kept, and these women, many of them were only 12 years old, were then kept in the hotel where Japanese enlisted men and officers took turns raping them. That's a terrible fucking story, and that's what the massacre in Manila sort of in a nutshell. And as a reminder, the Manila Massacre was only one of several major war crimes committed by the Imperial Japanese Army. That Japanese commanding general, Tomoyuki Yamashita, and his chief of staff, Akira Muto, were held responsible for the massacre and other war crimes in a trial which started almost immediately after the surrender of Japan in October of 1945. They surrendered in October. They were already on trial in October. Yamashita was executed in February of 1946 and Muto in December of 1948. That's a little bit of a happy ending. Some of the guys who were involved were killed. So that's the heady stuff, right? That's the ugly stain in history. Japan has quite a few of them, as does the United States, right?
Definitely.
No holier than thou shit here. We were scumbags to a lot of different people for a long time.
But we're made up of everybody,
No.
right? We bring us everybody. We have everybody here, so it makes sense that we would.
Yeah, and then, we're privy to so much of these details. I almost wish we weren't. Obesity laws. It was something on TikTok that I'd seen that people had to fit through certain, they had like these, it was a structure somewhere, and it just had
Right.
2x4s coming down, and the 2x4s were gradually more and more apart.
Mm-hmm.
And so Vibs would all of a sudden be able to fit through the first one. You'd be able to fit through the first one. John can't fit through the first one, so he has to go up. Then he went up and he fit through the third one. Then I come and I'm like, I know I'm bigger than John, so I go to the fourth one. No bueno. I go to the fifth one, and that's where my fat ass could go through, and that tells you that you're obese. Like, I'd seen that, and then I'd heard that Japanese people, it was illegal to be obese. That's only partially true. There's a Japanese metabolism law, which was introduced in 2008. It requires every Japanese citizen between the ages of 40 and 74 to meet the required waistline sizes each year.
Wow.
And again, like, these people are trying to
Or
preserve the health of their population
Yeah.
because they're not making enough babies, and they don't want to pay for my CPAP. You know what I mean? They don't want to pay for all the stuff that goes
Right,
along
right,
with
right.
me being morbidly obese.
Is Bloomberg did the soda law, right?
The soda law.
Is
yeah.
that still going on? Is there a ban on
Probably.
soda?
I don't
don't
think
know.
he passed it,
Oh,
but
it.
I thought he didn't pass it, right? Bloomberg.
I don't know. I'm
But
gonna
if you
look.
go to
There
Japanese,
was such a big reaction to it.
Right. I remember. Yeah.
Japanese McDonald's and stuff, I think only serve one size Coke.
Mm-hmm.
I think they serve one that's, only 8 ounces. But still, it's like, it's not like us where all of a sudden you get a fucking 44-ounce Dr. Pepper and it supposedly quenches your thirst.
New York City is the first in the nation to pass a rule barring restaurants, cafeterias, and concession stands from selling sodas and other calorie-rich beverages in containers larger than 16 ounces.
Yeah.
When I was in South Korea airport, is this the first time we've talked since I went to?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't here.
We have a
Alright,
lot to
man, we
catch
don't
up
recognize
on.
you anymore.
We need to go for another sushi dinner. And
Yeah,
that way we
I
can
know.
catch up on everything.
The South Korea airport didn't have in the international terminal didn't have a lot of food. It was just like one place that they also had a Krispy Kreme, which was like
Really?
not a ton of people were going there, and this other place just had noodles and everything that you could want.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't like a huge buffet
Really?
of things. Yeah, it was like 2 things.
It's not like Newark.
It was all like big high ceilings though, and like brand new and like awesome, but just not
That
a
you
lot
and
of
your
selection,
skinny body could
you know?
enjoy.
Yeah.
Japanese convenience stores, though, are
Yeah.
elite.
The one place that they had was awesome. The noodles were great.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So it's
But like
just
the 7-Elevens in Japan, I know you're in
simplified.
South Korea, but
Yeah.
the 7-Elevens in Japan, like people go for those egg sandwiches on the milk bread and all that. Like that, I would fuck around with. I would fuck around in a heartbeat.
You
with
would
that.
love Japan.
Yeah, I think I would love Japan. I don't know why I'm being so ignorant
know.
saying that I wouldn't fit. Like I'm gonna go through the town. Like
Anthony Bourdain was 6'4". He liked it.
yeah, but he was 130 pound. You know.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep
You're
sending
not
that
si-
What,
heroin.
what are you gonna say about people that are 130 pounds? What are you gonna say?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
no,
what?
but you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Probably not
Neither
100.
are
Oh, now you guess I'm getting short.
Wait,
people. Okay.
how? 130 pounds. He's not like an MMA fighter.
Well, yeah, he was a judo guy, wasn't he? Yeah, skinny dude.
Yeah.
How
I
much
don't-
did Anthony Bourdain weigh?
What's like
Bourdain weigh?
I bet it's all. Yeah, I bet it's online.
What?
You're finding out,
I
right?
am, yeah.
But anyway, so
Say 150.
if you're between 40 and 74, you
180.
get your waist measured. And I'm telling you, millions of people get their waist measured by the Japanese government. And you have to meet the required waistline sizes each year. It's 85 centimeters for women and 90 centimeters for men. So anywhere from 33 inches for women up to 36 inches for men. And for some perspective, the average male waist size in the U.S. is 39 inches. So we're all above the 36. And for American women, it's 36 and a half inches. So we're all above the 33. So you're fucked. But nobody's put in jail is why I want it. It's not like a fat jail. Those who fail are offered counseling and incentivized to lose weight and then measured again in 3 to 6 months. And ultimately, Japan hopes this campaign will help curb its healthcare costs, which have been increasing just like their waist sizes. And they're not putting you in jail, but a lot of them are fining the places that you work for. If you if you're a corporation that has a lot of obese people working for them, you can be fined or not get some sort of government incentive. So, what did we learn so far? Kappamaki is named after that thing that steals your soul. And if that thing steals your soul, the kappa, you got to bow. We learned that you got to keep a cucumber on you, an octopus on you. You got to be skinny. And a couple
Apparently
other
he
things
had
going
like
through.
what wild abs.
Oh, like
But
Anthony
they don't
Bourdain.
want to give
He's
his
jacked.
Yeah,
Is
he's
he jacked?
jacked.
For
Look
how
at
old
him.
Right,
he
he did.
is?
I didn't know he was so jacked.
Yeah,
Look
so
at
how,
him.
how heavy is he?
You could
I,
be
I
right.
can't find it. It's weird. They keep saying
I
he's
bet he's closer to
6'4" and that
130
he's
than he is to 170.
35 pounds overweight at one point. 35. I mean, I was 185.
getting a huge
I was a lot more
range.
than 35
Yeah.
pounds
Could be onto
overweight.
something.
Oh, here's a
Right?
quick...
Why won't they give us his weight?
Remember I told you how the Japanese have one-word things that take a while for us to?
Yes.
I came across one of them that I loved. It's kucha sabishi. Kuchi sabishi.
I love it too, brother.
Me too. A Japanese term which directly translates to lonely mouth. And it means when you're not hungry, but you just kind of eat because your mouth is lonely. You
Yeah.
just eat out of boredom.
That's
Yes.
what that is.
I just had a fucking bag of Cheetos. I didn't want them.
They're there.
I'm just kind of bored.
Yep.
So that's kuchi sabishi.
I
and
don't stop
I
snacking.
suffer from it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I just like having snacks. I always
Yeah.
have snacks on
Like
me.
I don't want one of these pretzels, but it's like, oh yeah, I guess.
It's
I'll-
there. You know what I mean?
I always have snacks on me.
And you know what else is cool? You know how we had said with Japanese soldiers being in the wire in World War II, one of the ways that American GIs could tell that they weren't American, they made them... Do you remember the word that had them?
Lollapalooza?
Because they
No.
would go rara perusa,
Yeah.
right? Because they have a tough time with the L's. The Japanese word for lesbian, rezubian, which I think sounds like how I would make fun of a Japanese person saying lesbian.
Right.
But it's actually rezubian. So I looked at LGBTQ. It's rezubian, gay,
It really is.
bisexual is bisexual, bisexual, and then transgender is toransu gender, and then queer is kimyona, which doesn't really make sense. So here's a couple other tips for foreigners. Japanese people are germaphobes. The culture was a mask-wearing culture long before COVID, and in many shops in Japan, you'll find a small tray next to the till. If you see one, never hand your money directly to the cashier. Instead, place it on the tray for them to pick up. That's a little tip for you. Blowing your nose
Can't tip there.
is considered disgusting, which I'm in trouble because I'm constantly blowing my nose. Japanese usually sniffle until they find somewhere private to blow their noses, which many foreigners find disgusting. Blowing a nose with a handkerchief is equally repulsive to the Japanese. Use a tissue and do so discreetly if you must blow your nose in public. Wearing toilet slippers. Japan is a land of slipper lovers. When you visit your friend's house, they'll offer you a pair of slippers to enter. Then you'll find another pair of slippers in their bathroom that you must change into, and you have to make sure you change your slippers back because wearing toilet slippers inside the living room is considered a sinful act.
Should be.
Yeah, take off your shoes. Love hotels. Many Japanese live with their parents until they get married, so this has resulted in the burgeoning business of love hotels. You'll find them everywhere in the major cities of Japan, and they're often equipped with fun goods and interiors inside, such as revolving beds, sex swings, all that kind of shit, a mini pool.
Yeah.
Entrances of the love holes are...
Sybaris.
Yeah, the Sybaris. When you go in, the entrance are very discreet. As you walk inside, there's a small reception with a panel of rooms to choose from. You press one panel, you pay money, and a key will be handed out from inside the reception. You won't see or be seen by anyone during the whole process of staying in a love hotel. That's kind of sexy.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
Do they?
You hit Tarzan room,
Mm-hmm.
you hand in your yen, a key pops out, you go upstairs and you just blast away.
But you gotta bring the girl.
You gotta. That's all
Yeah.
you have to bring. Or guy. Again, we're not
Or guy,
judgmental.
yeah.
Not
Two
judgmental.
holes in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Or one hole in a
Does New
heartbeat.
York have these?
No.
Would they be considered illegal?
Yes. The
Why?
brothels.
If you're
Oh, you know what? They're
Why
not.
would it be
no,
illegal?
there's plenty of hotels in and around New York that have hourly rates.
No, I mean that are this fun. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. You walk in, you press your selection, no one can see. I think that's kind of fun.
Well, we did it
We
when we
did?
went up to that one hotel in the to Poconos. The kids were out of town. Mick was in college, and the kids were staying with my parents. So I said, let's just go up and stay in like a hotel. Just go up to the mountains.
I did not know what to expect.
And instead, we rolled into one of these lovers resorts. There was no kids allowed.
The heart-shaped jacuzzi.
that was
Heart-shaped?
so funny. No,
So,
it
John,
wasn't
you
heart-
walked
was it
into the
heart-shaped?
room.
It was like
It wasn't
a
Mount
champagne.
Airy Lodge.
It was like a champagne.
John, you walked into the room, John and Vibs, fireplace,
That is
couch,
so funny.
giant champagne cup. I put a picture up of it. I'm doing it in the hot tub.
That was
And-
so funny.
And then you go upstairs to get into the tub,
Uh-huh.
and the entrance to the tub is off the revolving circular bed. You hit the button.
I didn't think
and
that
you're
was a- I thought it was a
revolving
pool.
with all mirrors.
Mirrors on the ceiling.
Giant floor-to-ceiling glass separating the pool area. Every room had its own little
That's so
heart-shaped
funny.
hot tub, and then its own sauna. So you go in,
Oh,
you
that was
sauna,
cool,
you
yeah.
go into the hot tub, you go into the thing, and then you bang around.
yeah, you went
Yeah.
into the tub.
But those are bigger. Those are bigger type things. These are like kind of small, where you just kind of walk in and you're on the moon.
Remember
Fuck
how great the
shacks.
convenience
shacks.
store was over there?
Yeah, yeah. And then we went to the dinner, and it was just like all people who are, still partially covered in protein.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
You go to
yeah.
one of those. Oh, that
a
the,
lot of fucking.
1,000 bottles of
Yeah.
lube. Freak offs.
the gift shop. Remember the gift shop?
Oh, we got to do something on Diddy. at
I
some point.
pushed back our guy. So
Oh, you did? Okay. So
Diddy.
the final thing
How
I'm
about
going
the
to tell you.
Kardashians are in trouble too?
Yeah, in Japan, I didn't know this. Sorry for coughing in your ear. In Japan, the number 4 is avoided because it sounds very similar to the word for death. So there's no 4th floors on a lot of hotels, in the same vein as the number 13 in Western culture. The number 4 is extremely unlucky and is used as little as possible. You must always avoid giving anyone something in 4s because it could be seen as a very ominous gift. I think
Yeah.
it's a good
So I
heads
learned
up.
that when I was visiting somewhere, and they said, "Oh, what's your favorite number? What's your favorite number?" And I said 4 is mine. And that's when they said to me, "Oh no, you can't." Yeah, they were very,
That's my
because it
Chinese no.
sounds
Japanese
like
no.
the
No.
word evil in their language.
No, it sounds like the word for death.
For death, yeah.
And then
but it's also
49
like a very evil,
is
like
especially unlucky because it sounds similar to the phrase that means pain until death.
Yeah.
Like a painful death.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
49.
Like they really, it's wild. Whereas like 13 is here,
Yeah.
and then like we were one of the only companies on Wall Street who had the 13th floor was ours.
Yeah.
89. I think it's 89 Trinity because it's not 86. I think it's 89 Trinity. That was our
They
office.
stopped it. So in new constructions, you see 13th floors, but there was a short period of time where there wasn't a building in Manhattan that had technically had a 13th floor.
Yeah, it was awesome,
They
and
either
nobody
changed
would
it
come visit us. Like deliveries
Yeah.
would be made downstairs. We'd have to go downstairs and get them.
Or even they would just have the 13th floor, but they'd rename it 14.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? So you felt like a fucking
It
idiot.
was our original HYY office.
Yeah, no, I
it was
remember.
awesome.
Let's snake draft. Favorite Japanese things. Can be anything. Let's just talk about some of our favorite Japanese things. This is more of an appreciation for the culture. I hope I wasn't disrespectful in any way.
I found it
No.
very respectful.
Yeah,
I
I
think
said-
it's quite the opposite.
Oh,
Beautiful.
That's the only thing I said that was kind of
Yeah.
yeah. And resbian
Yeah.
is the cool way. That's
Yeah.
how it actually is.
Yeah,
Resbian.
gave it away.
Yeah,
Beautiful
love that.
photos in this email notes.
there was a
probably
lot
some
of-
of our best.
Honest to God, yeah.
I don't mind it.
I think we
so,
should superimpose our face. Oh, but no, that would be rude. I
What do you
guess
wanna do,
can't
just
that.
3 apiece?
for fun? Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned one of mine.
I came
already.
prepared because I wasn't sure how many.
Okay.
I was
Vibsy
ready to go
has.
16
Yeah,
rounds.
Vibsy's
16
ready.
rounds.
How do I get back to that? Oh, I lost it. Okay. I love my first one.
You can use stuff I mentioned in the
No, I can with-
podcast. I don't give a shit. I don't think anyone here gives a shit.
No.
And it can be anything. It can be an idea. It can be a person, place, or thing, song, artist, movie,
Yeah.
something. What's going to be the order?
I think Vibsy kicks us off.
So how do you want to do it? You want to go Vibs around and
Yeah.
you're Anchorman?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then
Alright.
we'll snake drafting, which means you're going to have to pick twice.
Yeah. Is that good with you?
That fine with me.
All right.
Sounds good.
Let's do
it.
Vibsy. Vibsy,
All
you're
right.
leading
I'll
us
kick it off. Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Nice.
Yeah, you got the Super Mario. You got Donkey Kong. It's the best game. Like if you Super Nintendo, still play it on like Thanksgiving, Christmas when I go home with my brother. Donkey Kong 2,
you
Diddy
still
Kong's
play?
Quest. Oh yeah, it's still our original Super Nintendo still fires up. That's craftsmanship.
I would think that that's my favorite. The PlayStation 2 or 3. What are they up to now? Like 5?
Five,
yeah.
yeah.
Like I think PlayStation 2 or 3 were like I did a lot on those, but
Didn't you give them as gifts for your groomsmen?
yeah, all my groomsmen's got when we got married, everyone at groomsmen got a PlayStation and a game that was like they were a boxing fan. They got the
Yeah,
they got
that's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Shit, I forgot about that.
PlayStation as well is
Yeah.
Japanese.
I'm tempted to buy one of those things now. They have where you just put the stick in and allegedly get 3,000 video games. But
Yeah.
it's got to be a scam. Right?
They still sell like a smaller Super Nintendo that's like modern that
and it has all the games.
and has all
built
the
in.
games already on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
Well,
cool.
you can get the Switch. Like Frankie is.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have one.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about you plug this thing into your TV,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you find, but it's all the classic Nintendo
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I could play the old Tomb Raider when she had the pointy
Happy
boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
birthday
whole
to
thing.
you.
But like the side-scrolling like Super Nintendo,
birthday.
what a game! It's still fun. It's
Yeah.
it's sometimes better than the big like Grand Theft Auto 5s
Yeah.
where it's a massive world. It's cool, the graphics are great, but the simplicity of those like side scrollers.
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
spent a lot
nice.
of time on
Nintendo,
Tomb
baby.
Raider.
Yeah, and it's not like like
He
real
loved it.
real
Little too
old
much
school
time.
stuff like me saying, "Oh, well, the original Atari Pitfall was fucking awesome." Man, I'm old. Like the graphics weren't bad and the gameplay was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. All right, Nintendo. I got it. I'm going to write these down. Hold on a sec. V.
You want me to do them?
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I'll type them
Thanks.
down.
All right, Annie, you're second.
So for me, Japan has a lot of hot springs around, and it's acceptable to strip naked and jump in one. I would do that all the time. I
Really?
think that's awesome.
Yeah, I read about nudity in Japan, and one of the only places where you see it a lot is in these springs and like spas and stuff like that. There's some rules where you can't be naked in the locker room, but you can be naked inside the spring.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Whatever like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, everything there like the porn's pixelated, so it's like
Yeah.
nudity's weird over there.
Yeah, the porn is pixelated, and they used to have to pixelate out pubic hair, which was more of a issue for them. They used to have to put these like covers over their pubic hair so they wouldn't have to do excess pixelation until it became
Yeah.
like fashionable to not have any pubic hair.
Yeah.
So now it's a little bit easier. But I've always been thrown off by Japanese porn because of the pixelation.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
Yeah.
I've never really watched it.
So you're going Japanese hot
'cause-
springs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact that you can get naked in them and jump in them, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to go, my first one's going to be Shohei Ohtani. He's, no?
No, it's a great pick. It's just I didn't expect that from you.
10
for
years,
some reason.
$700 million thing.
Yeah.
He's the next Babe Ruth. the whole idea. I mean, the largest contract in professional sports history. Rarity is two-way player. His 21, 22, and 23 seasons are considered among the greatest in baseball history, with some of them favorably compared to the early career of Babe Ruth. Showtime. Shohei Ohtani. It's one of my. I think is he the greatest Japanese athlete ever?
Yeah, I think already.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to get to like somebody else on this list. I didn't know. I wouldn't want to take it.
Yeah.
I was gonna
But
say,
meaning in terms of how long he played, but he will.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. But I think that this is a sexier pick.
the fact that I mean, this season he isn't, but the fact that he's hitting and pitching
It's crazy.
is just it's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to look good on a graphic.
Oh,
Like your favorite Japanese thing.
yeah.
Start off with Ohtani. I think it's good. John, you have to do 2 in a row.
I just like that you treated it like a real draft. You're like, why didn't you guys take Ohtani right off the bat?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Nintendo,
Fucking
like,
like
idiots.
we're keeping track of this next season. I'm gonna go sushi.
Sushi.
Ah, I knew someone was going to take that.
It's on everyone's board.
yeah, it's great. Yeah.
By the way, I have Vibs, Annie, Large, and John Kelly. You're never just John.
I know it's common. John Kelly. That's just what
Yeah.
people say.
Sue Kelly, Mike Kelly
Yeah.
in our town. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
A lot of Kellys.
All right, so sushi. John, will you eat anything that's served to you in a sushi restaurant?
No, not no, but at most.
Okay.
You will.
I mean, I'll eat anything. Vibs, you tried everything when we
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
We did 16 course omakase.
Yeah. Oh, I would.
Annie's
Yeah, I would do
birthday.
That
that.
was awesome.
You would
Wasn't
do all of
fun?
that.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You
Well,
tried
we need
everything, I
another
think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The stuff you couldn't finish. I think Bridget finished. Right?
I was.
Oh.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Did you finish everything?
I think I finished everything.
Okay.
But she was a beast. She was.
She was.
There's
She
nothing
really was.
more
14-year-old
humiliating than being a 30-year-old man trying an oyster for the first time with a 12-year-old girl, and you're just like, yep.
Yeah.
And she's just a champ
Knocking it
about the
back.
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
I
so
steer away
funny.
from.
Actually, I might have given it-
clams.
Where were you
I
that
steer away
day?
from clams. I showed up late. Remember, I showed up with like as you guys were leaving.
No. This was different.
Wasn't that
Oh
it?
no!
No,
We
we
went
went for
to
my-
the
for my
omakase.
birthday
I
party.
invited you to it.
Ah.
It was Annie's
I was
birthday.
somewhere?
You were away- you were away.
You were in like Turkey or something.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
away, I think.
Yeah.
I think I was scooping stuff to Bridget and being like, hey, you got to finish this for me.
Right. Bridge loves you.
Yeah, she's
All right. So sushi is a good one. Number 1. I would have taken it as well. What's your number 2?
I'm gonna go samurai swords.
Oh fuck.
That's sick.
Oh
That's
my
sick.
God!
That's
cool.
You
cool.
should have been the anchor.
I was gonna bring one in. I have multiple.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh yeah, you got a car. I was gonna say that's tough to bring on the train.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So then, sushi and samurai swords. This is so. I don't know.
I realized I didn't know a lot about. I've never been, so I had like
Yeah.
a weird list,
Field
like
trip.
pop culture.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If anybody wants to sponsor a trip for us to go to Japan,
Done and done.
done and done.
Put it on the list right behind the Ireland trip.
Right?
My second pick, because it's up to me now, right?
Yep.
Is 394 feet tall. He's been around for 70 years, and this franchise on TVs and movies, making it the longest franchise in entertainment, is a star on the Walk of Fame. So it's Godzilla, right? People think that his name translates to King of Lizards, but Godzilla is actually a portmanteau with so when you like brunch or bromance, when you put like 2 words together, portmanteau. The words slapped together are the Japanese words for gorilla and kujira, which translates to whale. So the word Godzilla actually translates to gorilla whale. I fucking love that.
That's cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
I've been
awesome.
watching Godzilla movies since I was a kid. Every iteration of them, whether it's like the Matthew Broderick one, which kind of went against the Godzilla canon by showing him, I think he ate a human in that one. Like Godzilla is never shown eating humans. He's never shown eating. And that one he was like eating big fish, like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even that like piece of shit one, I watch them all. I love Godzilla -1. I love all the Godzilla movies. So Godzilla, it was a toss up between Ohtani and Godzilla. But I thought somebody might take Ohtani, so I took it. So
Yeah.
that's the second one. That looks great on a graphic, by the way.
Two great things. Yeah.
Shohei
Yeah.
Ohtani and Godzilla. I'm
Yeah.
winning this bitch.
You're
Go ahead.
crushing it.
What do you got, Annie?
I'm saying dipping sauces.
Oh, yeah.
Ponzu,
Ponzu.
soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
I mean, there is not.
Wasabi, right?
There is not.
Yeah, they're very good.
It's just the best. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
Nobody comes close. No other culture comes close to dipping sauces.
Yeah, I can see that.
I love them.
Yeah, dipping sauces.
You can put them on rice,
Fucking
meats,
very-
everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's the
Vibs, you got to
best.
go twice. Give your second and final. And John, you're playing cleanup.
Yeah. I'm prepared.
Now I don't know where to go. I'm
I bet yours is gone, John.
No.
You have 1, 2, 3,
What do
4.
you mean?
No, I'm saying by the time
I
it
think
gets
I'll be
around.
okay. I got it a deep cut. I got
Okay,
a
deep cut?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Um,
You got to do 2.
I know, and I there's
tough.
there's I'm down to 3. There's 3 that I want to do. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say the jet ski. There's the Danotage
Wait.
bit. Yeah.
What?
The jet ski was made in Japan.
The jet ski by Kawasaki. It was created in 1972,
Ooh.
and it's a registered trademark jet ski. But it's like personal watercraft or something is what they're all called.
I didn't know that.
It's like Kleenex. Everyone calls
Yeah,
Kleenex
of course.
Kleenex, but that's the brand. Jet ski, Kawasaki.
I
The
didn't
jet
know.
ski, yeah. And
I mean,
it's
it makes 100% sense.
Yeah, the Danotage bit. You've never seen anyone upset on a jet ski. Jet
Never.
skis rule.
Yeah.
Wayne Jet Ski.
Yeah.
No.
Great name. Like,
You never see anyone happy on a bus.
Yeah.
To your point.
Otani's got some
whoa, no,
competition.
I go a double, right?
You go again.
You go
Yeah.
to-
Yeah.
Okay. You were saying to your point. I
'Cause
thought
she
you were saying your
says-
turn. It's like,
she
don't
says
skip
I-
me. Like,
I
Oh,
don't-
no,
yeah,
I got
don't
you.
ride buses. Can I get you a tap?
You can get whatever you want, baby.
I have a lonely mouth.
I'm going to say karaoke. It was invented in the
gonna do that too.
1970s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's a good one.
I'm going to ask John first. Go to karaoke.
You mean around here?
No, just go
Oh,
through a
oh,
song.
oh.
Like if John gets up to the mic, how many times have you done karaoke?
Like 15, 16.
Really?
No.
I've never done it. Oh, that's
Never?
true. I did. I got booed off.
No,
Yeah.
you did
Probably
it in
only
our
like
house.
3 or 4 times.
But you did it on our house with a limited amount of selections. PlayStation 3 used to have this like singing one.
Yep.
It was pretty cool. I used to nail it. And we were drunk
Yeah,
with
yeah,
David and Veronica were over, my
Yeah.
cousin. And we did it. And it didn't take kindly. The algorithm didn't take kindly to
They
her
kicked
voice.
me off.
Probably
So-
Country Roads.
Country Roads.
Ooh, guess a
Solid.
good
Oh, that's a
Gypsy?
good one.
Ignition remix.
Oh, yeah.
R. Kelly.
Yeah, obviously. Annie?
The Gambler.
The Gambler is a good one, too. I do Fuck Her Gently by Tenacious D, and
That's a good one.
I kill it.
I know you do.
I kill it.
You have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
voice
You
of
love
an
that
angel.
song.
I do. So, Vibsy, your Nintendo, your jet skis, and your karaoke.
Yeah.
Pretty good night
Pretty solid. Yeah.
for like a 16-year-old kid.
yeah.
Start off with a
Yeah.
Nintendo, hit the jet ski, then karaoke at night.
Yeah, it's like if a 16-year-old kid got like a blank check, it's like those are the first things he buys. Is like those.
Koreatown does a thing where they at one of the karaoke parlors they have there, they cut open the top of a watermelon, like a personal watermelon. They pour in a bottle of soju, and then they hit it with a stick blender. And so it's watermelon soju, and then they just give you a straw and they fill it with ice. You sit there and you sing.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's the shit.
That's a Korean liquor, right?
The Korean is soju. There's sochu and soju, sake, all that shit. Go ahead, Annie. What's your last and final?
It kind of falls under a couple of other traditions, but I'm going with etiquette.
Okay.
Like you can't blow your nose. You can't like they don't let you. This is the biggest one for me: walking and eating.
Right.
They frown on anybody who walks and eats or
Yep.
eats in public places, and I can't stand watching. Like,
People eat.
and I don't mind like if you're grabbing snacks and stuff. That's one thing. But when someone's like slurping a noodle, and
Yeah.
like next to you on the bus or busting out an egg sandwich in public, I just no. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with etiquette. They're such proper. You know, I like that.
They have low crime because of culture. And
Right?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
not
that.
polite to kill people.
It's
No,
not.
it's not.
Nope. So I'm going to go
Very
with their
rude.
respective etiquette.
Okay.
I like that one. I like that
Thank
one.
you.
That's me now.
That's
That's
you.
dead air. I apologize.
Shone Onatani, Godzilla, and what
I
is
have
your...
a couple. I have a couple I can't really choose.
Yeah, you kind of got right in the middle there.
Yeah. I was gonna do Shuriken, but he's got samurai swords. I just
Samurai
love,
Swords was such a
love
good
Chinese
one.
stars,
Shurikens
though.
are sick.
I
Is that
love
more of like a shuriken, like your whole hand? You throw it with your whole hand?
No, so they call them. When I grew up, they call them Chinese stars, but they're Japanese stars. They're ninja stars.
Right. Yeah, I know
Samurai
ninja stars, but I thought a shuriken was like you grip it with, like it's bigger and you take your whole hand and you can throw it.
Didn't Patty
Maybe
give
it's
you
all
that
the
for
They
same.
have
your
three different
birthday?
types.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I wish I didn't know all this stuff. Some of them were almost like throwing knives. They were like spikes that were
Yeah.
thrown. You see, like ninjas use them. I mean, I've had them all.
What did
Yeah,
Patty give you for your birthday?
Patty gave me throwing knives for my birthday. And I was
Throwing
throwing them
knives.
around the Sirius studio.
Yeah,
I got
you
in trouble.
didn't all over my living room.
Yeah,
We have holes in our walls now.
I'm gonna do that. You know what I think I'm gonna do?
A blowgun?
No, I think I'm gonna
Those are
do.
cool.
I think I'm gonna do wagyu.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think because I'm a food guy.
That's a
That's
yeah.
I think I'm gonna
good
do wagyu.
one.
That's
So-
huge.
yeah,
Everyone,
so there's
every
three-
menu has that now.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
3 different types. If you're looking out for them, there's Matsusaka Ushi, where the cows are fed beer. There's the traditional Kobe beef, where it's more like, I think they're fed corn and rice. And then there's one called Omi beef, which I haven't tried. It's supposed to be the softest of the 3. so I'm a big like Kobe guy. There's so many knockoffs that you get that you won't be impressed with. But if you sit down and just try, particularly like an izakaya, where they just kind of do it over an open flame, you're not getting a big chunk like you would a soft filet mignon or some bullshit. Because I like stuff with a bone in it and whatnot.
Right.
But if you get like those strips of Kobe done over like an open flame, the way they do it over those charcoals, man, it's good eating. So I'm going to go with Wagyu. I'm going to go with Wagyu steak as my third and final. And we're going to
great
do a
food.
couple of honorable mentions. But, John, you're going to close it out with the official third one for you. What are you thinking?
Well, you did take Wagyu. I had that
Did
on
I?
there. It's a good one. I'm going to say Ken Watanabe.
I was going to say
good
him,
one.
too. I fucking love Ken Watanabe.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
And to check, make sure he was actually born in Japan.
he was.
to make
I
him
checked it last
eligible,
night.
but
It was
yeah.
either him or Pat Morita. I was either going to do
Pat
one of
Morita,
those two
Mr.
guys.
Miyagi.
Is he a reporter?
No, he's the guy from
Mr.
Last Samurai.
Miyagi. Isn't he?
Oh, no, Pat Morita is Mr. Miyagi from... And then
Oh.
Ken Watanabe is the dude from...
Last Samurai.
Last
You've
Sam-
seen
he's
him.
from everything.
He was just
Yeah,
in the one we
he-
were just talking about.
From Inception.
Letters from Iwo
It's,
Jima.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Batman. He's Ra's al Ghul, the stand-in.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. I think... But wasn't it Roz,
But it's like that. Yeah.
Sean Connery? Yeah.
He was in that
Uh,
Tokyo Vice, what we were just talking about.
The guy, big,
Oh, Liam
big
Neeson.
dick. Yeah,
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Big dick.
All right, honorable mentions, John. Give me two that you were going to put that you didn't.
I did have Ichiro, but once you took Otani,
Yeah.
I can't compete. The Ring. Remember that movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Ringu is what it is in
Ringu.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Japanese horror movies. I was gonna put that in there.
Like that one.
No one does little dead girls like the Japanese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very scary.
I was
also
going to
had
put Old Boy on, but it's Korean.
Oh boy.
Japanese car brands and cherry blossoms.
So now,
Cherry Blossoms is a good one.
Yeah.
right. I was going to put Japanese car brands just because of how much
They're pretty good.
the Subarus are good for the lesbians, right?
Yeah.
Is that what lesbians drive? Subaru Outbacks?
Super.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
outdoorsy
Subaru.
people.
Lesbians.
Miss
and,
Virginia from.
Give me two honorable mentions, Vibs.
I was gonna say Benihana.
Oh, I love Benihana.
And the Sony Discman was invented there in 1984.
Ooh, that's a good
Great
one.
thing. Walking around the neighborhood with that.
The boost, the
Yeah.
bass boost.
Emojis.
Yeah.
I like an emoji.
Yeah,
There's no font for sarcasm or your mood. You know, people frown on emojis. I like an emoji in a text.
I enjoy a nice emoji.
Helps
I
me
do
read.
too.
ahead.
Bad one. QR codes. Although they're growing on me.
Yes.
Nothing's grosser than a menu at a restaurant.
Yeah.
If you've worked in a restaurant.
Yes, that's very true.
True.
Yeah, they don't clean
good
them very
point.
well. Never mind the dishes. Selfie stick was invented in Japan for like
That's a good one.
in 1983 for cameras, so that families could get their entire family
Oh,
in,
yeah.
in a
Makes
portrait
sense.
without having a stranger do it. But I love being the stranger that helps a family take a photo. I live for that.
You want to get both in a picture?
Yeah, you want me to get you for that? And they're like, oh yeah.
I always do one. The first one is a selfie of me,
Yeah.
and then I take it to them. Annie, give me some honorable mentions.
No shoes in the house.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No shoes in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they have like those instead of doors they have screens. I love that, and their tattoos. Sometimes
Oh,
when
you like Japanese?
I love
Well,
Japanese.
If you look at his John Mayer thing now, you don't have any Japanese tats, do you?
No.
like when Chris Nunez does a Japanese
guy.
one, man, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I
Ink
love them.
Master Chris Nunez, who doesn't sound Japanese, and he's not. I think he's a Cuban-born. In Miami, he does like.
I don't know,
But he specializes in
he's so
Japanese
talented.
tattoos. There's so many fucking rules that you have to abide by when making just koi or Japanese.
their colors
dragons
and their
snakes
yeah,
and
they're
the-
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Mayer's whole like arm sleeve is like done by a Japanese artist.
Oh.
is it?
Like one of the best.
I would
ones.
love it.
It's like it's an art form over there. They really
Yeah.
respect it. I
Yeah.
think it's all stick and poke too that he had done.
I was gonna do vending machines too, because you can get like used panties in vending machines, which that's not why I'm saying that. But
Why
the
would you
vending
buy a
mach-
used one?
The vending machine game there is
What?
elite.
Why would you buy a used panty?
They show you the girl wearing it, and then you buy her panties, and it's like a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sniff those
They're not
bad
buying.
boys.
You're not buying them because you just needed a fresh squirrel cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But Japanese vending machines are elite. Sorry about that. I was going to say sake too, just because I drink more sake.
Oh, I
than
love
anything else.
sake.
Yeah.
That's the best.
All right, so that's it with 216. So we're at the end of the Twisted History of Japan. We'll be back. I don't know what we're going to do next, to be quite honest with you.
I'm gonna pick it. It's gonna be
About
good.
that. Okay, pick it. And then what else? What do,
Yeah.
do we have to plug anything? John and I are starting to ramp up the boxing stuff a little bit. I'm heading out to London next week to
Ooh.
Better BF Bivol. And we got some kid who's doing some of the social with us. We're going to talk to him afterwards. So ramping that up. Anything else we want to talk about? Oh, I have to do that watch, but that's not till next month, right?
The watch,
Yeah. Do that watch. I might as well talk about it now, but I don't know when the fuck it is.
If you're
October
if
5th.
you're on Georgia University's campus, come out and hang out with me, Pat, and Joey. We're gonna be fucking drinking high noons, enjoying the Bulldogs beating the shit out of the Tide.
What day are you leaving? You're leaving Friday?
September 29th. Yeah, we
Oh, isn't
leave
that this
we
weekend?
leave on the 28th. No, it's
I
next
thought they were
weekend.
playing this weekend.
No, it's next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That
So,
should be fun.
Oh, it'd be fun. I'm
Athens is a
excited.
great town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so coming out and see Vibsy and Joey and Pat. Should
yours
be
is
a good time.
October 5th in Hoboken. Your
October
watch.
5th in Hoboken. Myself and Kelly Keegs will be hosting a college football watch for High Noon, is it?
High noon.
High Noons, yep. We'll do some nooners. That's it. Twisted History. We'll see you guys next time.